Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiats is here. Is the sound working? Let me just check real quick. You guys tell me the sound's working. If it isn't, tell me right away, please, so I can start over. I think it's working. Who's in the chat? Nameless, Mo, somebody right in there. Is the sound working? I don't know. It doesn't show us a reading, and once again, it's being flaky. So, yeah, you can hear me? Okay, good. Thank you. That's all I needed. You guys tell me. All right, because I don't want to reset it if it's fine. All right, the Raptors lost to the Mavericks last night. Unfortunately, listen, I have a theory that the Raptors, once again, have been messed with by the schedule makers. I think the schedule makers are very cognizant that this game that they played last night would be on Luka's 25th birthday. I mean, think about it. That's a big birthday. 25 years old is a big birthday. Now, Luka, after the game, said he didn't care. It didn't matter to him. He said he feels 40 years old. This guy. Well, you play like you're 40 sometimes, too. I mean, I stand by what I said yesterday, where Luka's kind of a clown and he's just kind of goofing around. I feel like if he tried really hard, it'd be amazing what he could be. Some people are saying, well, he's as good as he can. He can't be any better. That's what Alvin Williams said. That's what Darko said yesterday. I'm like, yeah, he could be better, y'all. I don't agree with y'all. Seriously, like if he got a little more chiseled, had a little more muscle, if he worked a little harder, if he, there's certain things he tried to do a little harder, yeah, he could be better. He could be better. Some people are saying, no, Luka can't get better. Yeah, he could be better. Seriously, you put a little more muscle definition, a couple of these, this and this, he could be better. I feel like the Luka Doncic 25 birthday party became like a roast. Yeah, it's kind of like those old Dean Martin roasts where they got like an MC. They come up, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, and they tell insulting jokes about the guest of honor. In some ways, what the was last night in honor of Luka's 25th birthday, it was like the Raptor Killer roast. Let's just get a whole history of Raptor Killers and parade them in this game and have them each take over at different times and show where they killed us. And it's like a trip down memory lane. Oh, hi, first quarter, PJ Washington, formerly of the Charlotte Hornets, coming out bombing threes right away, hitting big shots up a former Raptor killer, a guy who has killed the Raptors on the Hornets in the past, and well, now he's on the Mavericks. And in honor of Luka Doncic's 25th birthday, let's kill the Raptors a little bit in the first quarter. How about that, PJ Washington? Showing and rearing your ugly head later on, too, at different times also. Who's next on the dais tonight on the Luka Doncic 25th birthday anniversary show, Luke Raptor Killers? Oh, let's bring on up Tim Hardaway Jr., long time Raptor Killer for the Mavericks. He's been doing this for the Mavericks to us for a while, showing up and hitting big shots. That old grizzled vet. He's been on the Mavericks forever off the bench. And, well, he's been a Raptor Killer to us. Yes, he has in the past. Tim Hardaway Jr. has annoyed Raptors fans in games with big shots at key moments. Yeah, he came out there and did it. All right, let's see who's next on the docket for the Luka Doncic 25th birthday Raptor Killer banquet. Yeah, who's next on the docket? All right, well, let's bring Daniel Gafford out here just for fun. A low-key Raptor killer, somebody who's killed the Raptors in the last couple of years for the Wizards with this extreme length and size and strength. Yeah, he was killing us for a little bit last night. We had no answer for Daniel Gafford for a little bit in there in the first half. I felt like when Jakob went out and Gafford came in, we were in trouble because that man was doing whatever he wanted to near the basket with power and size and length. And I was like, man, we might need to match Jakob Poeltl's minutes with Daniel Gafford for the rest of the game because he's being a problem. So, yeah, there's a Raptor killer, an unsung, not really talked about Raptor killer. Daniel Gafford is definitely a Raptor killer in certain ways. Oh, yeah. Well, what else have we got here on the Luka Doncic 25th birthday Raptor killer banquet party? Let's bring out a new one, a brand new one, a debut of Derek Lively II, rookie coming into Toronto for the first time wearing a mask. Who was that masked man named Lively? Is this something weird about the NBA at this point? Are we naming all these players? Are their last names just like dwarves and with Snow White? That we got Bashful and Doc and Sneezy. Well, we got Quickly and Lively. We got Quickly. I like having Quickly on our team because he is Quickly. Well, Lively is Lively. And he's annoying. I'm just going to put it that way. That man is really annoying. Like, he's that kind of player you love having on your team, but everybody hates seeing him when he comes in because he's just all over the freaking place. Like, I'm wondering, after last night or any kind of ways he plays, do they test him for PED normally, like regularly? Like, are they testing Derek Lively for PED? Because honestly, this guy is a little juiced up, just a smidge juiced up there. Derek Lively II, you are very lively. It's like, well, if he was like a slow, dormant, kind of lazy player and his name was Lively, it wouldn't make sense. But this man fits the bill. The name fits the bill. Lively. Yes, indeed, Lively. So we got the rookie making his debut as a Raptor killer last night, blocking shots left and right, annoying. In fact, him and Scotty block shots similarly. There's a lot of ambiguity about goaltending when Scotty and Derek Lively are blocking shots. There's a lot of ambiguity about goaltending. In fact, we got him for a goaltend at one point. But I'm just saying, this dude is not a good new development. One of the Achilles heels of the Dallas Mavericks in recent years has been their shitty size and interior defense and stuff, with all respects to Dwight Powell. I'm just saying, now that they have Gafford and Lively, this is nasty. The Mavericks have done a good job in picking up Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, and they did a really good job drafting Derek Lively II. Yeah. Who's next? Oh, wait, is it the guest of honor is Luka, obviously, triple-double on his birthday, that kind of thing. Yeah, you're awesome. We love you, Luka. Let's just tell jokes about you for a little bit. Yeah, you're goofy. You got a pot belly. Yeah, you're a goofy guy, bro. You're pretty funny, you and Nicola. Yeah, these are the kind of things they say. They would come up there and roast him. Roast Nicola roast Luka on his 25th birthday. Tell jokes. Well, here's the marquee speaker at the Luka Doncic 25th birthday party banquet of Raptor Killers. Well, here we go. Here's the guest of honor, the main enchilada. If this was a Dean Martin roast for Sammy Davis Jr., this is Frank Sinatra coming up to the mic. Kyrie Irving. Yeah. Each one of these Raptor Killers took a quarter and did a shift. And Kyrie takes that fourth shift. He takes that last shift. He takes that graveyard shift. Yeah, he does what he does. I feel like Kyrie relishes doing it to Toronto in Toronto. The last couple of years with him in Brooklyn were very surgical in how he took us apart at times at the end of the game. Very surgical last night. In fact, it's like, what do? This guy can do whatever the hell he wants on the basketball court. You can't stop Kyrie. You can't stop him. It's just another whole thing. Scotty, you could be right there in front of him. Scotty, you could have your long wingspan and intimidate him, but no, he'll shoot it right over your fro, your big hair. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's got ice in his veins. He's been doing this so long, and it's Kyrie, man. It's Kyrie. Maybe Kyrie has a little extra against us because we wouldn't let him in the country for a little bit there. He's, oh, Canada, you wouldn't let me in during the pandemic because I'm anti-vax. Well, I'm going to get you back when I get back across there. Watch. I mean, Kyrie looking old with that grizzled beard, looking tough, like a tough old vet. But yeah, he was definitely the number one speaker at the Luka Doncic 25th birthday Raptor Killer extravaganza last night. Yeah, he definitely was. Keynote speaker. The real nail in the coffin. Seriously. I mean, there's no shame in losing to somebody like Kyrie Irving, an artist like that, a guy who does things like that. There's no shame in that. Seriously. I mean, we ran with the Mavericks for 2.5 quarters, kept up with them exactly. They were scoring as crazy as possible. It wasn't like the defense was winning last night. Offense was winning. Really high scoring quarters. And, we ran with them, a high octane offense till about halfway through the third quarter. They got some separation then. And, we never kind of caught up after that. It's tough. In some ways, Dallas probably pissed at us from the time we beat them in the beginning of the season in their own court. That they were like, oh, we're keeping tabs. Yeah, we got to come back around and get the Raptors when we finally go to Toronto at the end of February. I mean, honestly, Luka is special. Luka is special. Luka is turning 25. He's the only day he's ever going to turn 25. Schedule makers see that. Well, they can't lose on Luka's 25th birthday. Schedule loss for the Raptors. I mean, in some ways, you could really kind of suss that out. It's like, if they really have a lot that they think about when they make the schedule, do they get that detailed? They figure that out. It's like, here's an extra little added bonus. Let's mess with the Raptors. Let's make them play Luka on his birthday. Did anybody else have to play Luka on his birthday this season other than the Raptors? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Just the Raptors. The Raptors had to play Luka on his 25th birthday. Well, I mean, in some ways, did he care? Was that a factor? Do the other Mavericks get up and say, "Hey, it's Luka's birthday. We got to go win this one for Luka's birthday"? Maybe. Kyrie's like, "I'm not letting you lose on your birthday, Luka. I'm not letting you lose on your birthday. It's the Raptors too. I'll relish this. I'll go out there and I'll kill them on their own court, like I've done with the Brooklyn Nets the last couple years. It's not like this is something new that we haven't seen. Kyrie Irving take over in the fourth quarter against the Raptors and absolutely kill us and take it home for the team that's playing us. This isn't new. We've seen this. We've seen this for like a decade. I mean, more intensely with when he was on the Nets and those Nets games. He was really, really, really doing it. But, we still seen it. We've seen it regularly. Kyrie Irving killing the Raptors. That's why I want to call this game the Luka Doncic 25th birthday banquet party of Raptor killers. PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively II, and Kyrie Irving. And then the guy himself, Luka. Luka doesn't even look like he's trying, and he gets a triple-double out there. He looks like he's goofing around. He's laughing. He's smiling. He's not taking anything seriously, but he fucks around and gets a triple-double. He's the epitome of Ice Cube's, it was a good day. Yeah, fucked around and got a triple-double. Yeah, that's what he did. He fucked around and got a triple-double. He didn't even, does he seem like he's trying to get a triple-double? No, he just gets one. Those passes were insane. Like they were. That crazy one he threw over his shoulder to the corner, that daring one that Alvin said, you don't do that on a basketball court. You do that to children, but you don't do that to professionals in the NBA. The audacity of Luka Doncic to throw a pass like that in the NBA against professional basketball players. Oh my gosh, the audacity of Luka. Yeah, in some ways I'm impressed. In some ways I can't hate. This is just how it is. In some ways, as Grady Dick said after the game last night, every game is a lesson. Well, there's another lesson for you Raptors. Kyrie Irving is very good. Kyrie Irving is a generational talent. Kyrie Irving may be the greatest ball handler ever in the history of the NBA. And when you put him next to maybe the greatest passer ever in the NBA, well, you get good stuff. I am really shocked about how well Luka and Kyrie are working well together. I think the key important thing is to have some good defensive bigs. And then that team can be okay. They're better this year than they were last year. For sure. Watching them last night made me think that the Mavericks are heading up, but they're, it's weird. I still don't think they got enough good players. And I don't know if having such a concentration in your backcourt is smart still. I still don't know. In some ways, I'm not totally sure if Luka Doncic, as good as he is, if he's not serious enough, will he win a championship ever? That's part of it. That's the question. With Nikola doesn't have to be totally serious, but he's got a lot of other guys around him that are totally serious. And Nikola is really amazing. He really is. And in some ways, they added up. They got their championship. I don't know if Dallas will ever get a championship with Luka Doncic. In some ways, there's some of the similar problems we would talk about this week with players that are too offensive and not good enough defensively. In some ways, I don't know. I don't know if Luka will ever be an NBA champion. I don't know. Some people say, what are you talking about, Lex? He's got a great chance. I don't know, though. I really don't know. All right, let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. And we got a 9:05 game, Windy City Bulls, later tonight. And then also, of course, I'm going to do my stars for the game last night and talk about the Raptors, not just talk about the Mavs. I mean, this is the Raptors Freak Channel. Trevor J saying, good morning, Raptors family. Last night's game was high scoring. No matter the loss, it was a very good effort. I agree, Trevor. In some ways, you can see I'm not really wearing purple today. I'm not really feeling the shame of this loss last night. We won 3 in a row. It's tough to win 4 in a row. Dallas is, they had lost a couple games in a row. They were ready to try and win again. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that happen in this game. Some ways it's veteran experience versus our younger team. Kyrie Irving. That's it right there. Trevor's saying IQ, RJ, and Scotty, they bring the energy. Good game for the starting five. All right, let's do the stars of the game. I have 3 stars. I'm only giving 3 when we lose. And my number 1 star last night was Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly is electric. Emmanuel Quickly is fun. Emmanuel Quickly is vibes. And I love what he's doing out there. I mean, I love all the celebrating. I love all the smiles, the happiness, the cheering with teammates, the stuff that's happening on social media right now between everybody. The bonds and the fun is strong. And Emmanuel's a big catalyst for it, as Darko's philosophy is. And some people are critical of this. I don't understand these idiots. They're critical of Darko. There's 2 things I'm hearing right now that are absolute bullshit and garbage. One is Darko's a good assistant, but he's not a good head coach. There's a lot of critics saying this. You dumbasses. You are so stupid. You are so stupid. Dennis Schroeder was on the Raptors show yesterday, and he said something about Darko yesterday that was really poignant. He said, look, some of y'all think that he's not a head coach and he's only an assistant coach. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to be a top 5 or top 10 NBA head coach very, very soon. So get with it, Darko haters, you dumbasses. Even Dennis, who was sent into exile to Brooklyn, still believes his guy, Darko Rajakovic, is going to be a top 5 or top 10 NBA coach in the near future. So you dumbasses that have no expertise, no real experience, aren't inside with them like Dennis was, you don't know what you're talking about. And then the other thing people are saying this is all right. Let me get back to my original point. We're talking about Emmanuel Quickly, and Emmanuel Quickly last night is encouraged to be like Superman. This is the common thing that Darko does is he wants his guys to feel invincible. He wants them to feel like super heroes. He wants to feel like they're on top of the world. So everything that Emmanuel does for celebrating on the court is extremely encouraged by Darko. Darko wants him to skip Lee. Darko wants him to freeze. Darko wants him to smile and get his teammates all happy and pepped up and be a catalyst for good vibes on the team. And Emmanuel is doing that right now. I love it. I love it. Some people are saying Darko's too much about good vibes and positive. He's not hard enough on the team. Fuck you, you idiots. You do not know how hard he is on the team. In fact, Oshai Abaji, in his practice interview yesterday, said Coach is intense. He makes us work extremely hard behind the scenes, and he really pushes us. Like, we are very, very pushed as a team. So listen, just because Darko's smiley, personable, a player coach, nice, he's saying a lot of things, doesn't mean he's not pushing the team. Doesn't mean that he's not that he's like going easy on them. Doesn't mean any of that shit. Y'all are assuming, and you know what that means? It makes an ass out of you, but not me, because I'm not assuming with you. So I'm just gonna say that. So don't assume, Raptor fans, just because Darko has a smile face and he's like always kind of encouraging and positive around the team, at least in the media in front of everybody, that he's not a harsh, kind of tough person on them behind the scenes as far as pushing them to get better. You guys got to understand that, coaches can have both sides. You can, if you're a smiley, happy coach and you're good to the team, that means you're too easy on them. This is the stupidest logic I've ever heard in the fucking world. Some of the people that are coming out with this criticism of Darko. He's too nice. He's not hard enough on them. He's not pushing them. That's not what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing from Oshai Abaji about the practices. They're very intense. And somebody's talking out their ass when they say, oh, Darko's too nice. He doesn't put enough pressure on them. He's such a player's coach. He's so nice to them and positive to them all the time. When is he negative to them? When does he tell them what to do? All the fucking time. In fact, that's the thing about Darko. He's in this place where he's trusted and loved so much. He can be positive and smiley, but you know what? In the games, he's telling people, like when he talks to Gary Trent Jr. when he's coming out the game, what do you think he's saying to him? He's saying, oh, I love you. You're beautiful. Your hair is so curly. Your tattoos are so pretty. No, he's not fucking saying shit like that to Gary when he's coming out. He's critical with him. He's telling him what he could have done better in the last possession. He's telling him what he could have done in the last set a little bit better on his defensive assignments. Some people are so stupid. I don't get this. Why do you think that he is not hard on this team? Why are there dumbasses out there that think Darko's such a player's coach that he is not like pushing them or hard on them? You're stupid. You are stupid people if you think that Darko is going easy on the Raptors. Oh my gosh. And the other one about the assistant coach stuff. All right, I just had to get that out. A burning desire to go against the anti-Darko people real quick with some reality and truth and facts about things. Stupid, stupid. All right, let's get back to Emmanuel. I shouldn't rob him of his moment. Emmanuel quickly, the star of the game for me, 10 of 18 from the field. That is fantastic shooting, especially with the shots he's taking. He's taking crazy shots that nobody should be able to take because they're not usually good shots. But with Emmanuel, they're good shots. And I love it. 5 of 11 from 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 28 minutes, 28 points in 38 minutes. Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. He was the leading assist getter. The point guard was actually the point guard last night, but they have him listed as a shooting guard in the box score. Manuel, you're the star of the game, 28 points. I love it. My second star of the game is the big man, Jakob Poeltl. Once again, Jakob just busting his ass. You thought this man twisted his ankle in the last game. He's going to miss a game last night. Well, no, he's not going to miss a game because he's out there busting his ass. That dude is all over the place. Jakob Poeltl, 7 of 12 from the field. He shot a lot last night, and he was very, very good with his shots, 16 points. 2 of 3 at the free throw line. His free throw shooting has gotten a lot better in the last 2 months. 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. So 6 stocks for Jakob last night. So he's definitely involved on the defensive end. And I love the 6 assists by him too. Stat stuffing, Jakob Poeltl style. So yeah, you got to love the effort by our big Austrian. He's playing a very, very high, intense work rate right now on the court. In some ways, when you have a big man that moves like him and gets around like him, and you see how much he busts his ass like him, that's a great role model on our team. Let's just put it that way. The big man was slow, lumbering, lazy, just kind of walking up the court. No, that's no good. Jakob is running all over the place. And I love his aggressiveness to attack the rim. Like sometimes he's kind of not really close to the rim, but he takes those extra steps and he gets to the rim and he lays it up and he puts it in. That's been really impressive to me because that was something I haven't seen him do a lot in his career, like attack the rim from like 10 feet away by putting the ball on the floor for like one dribble. Very, very cool stuff. My third star of the game is RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett was 9 of 16, 4 of 6 from 3. He shot very well. Knicks fans are like, why didn't RJ shoot better for us? Well, he's more comfortable in Toronto, and we're not putting him in awkward situations like y'all did in some ways. His free throw shooting still a nightmare, 4 of 9. We really, really got to figure this out, RJ. You've been a good free throw shooter for the Knicks. What the hell happened when you came home? Let's just concentrate. Let's get your hands steady, and let's get the right follow through on your free throws, and we'll get this right. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 26 points in 35 minutes for RJ Barrett. A solid game. He was once again eye of the tiger. He's out there fighting. He's out there leading. He's out there being the physical player, meeting them with contact and taking their contact at the same time. I feel like RJ's getting the raw side of the deal on a lot of calls these days. He's not getting as much respect with contact going in the basket and getting the free throw line as much as he probably should. And that's just how it is. But yeah, those are my 3 stars of the game. With the honorable mention to Scotty. Scotty was good. In some ways, Scotty wasn't a bad player last night. In fact, we saw some very dominant things he was doing once again. I saw him get like a 4 effort, try possession where he kept getting the ball, fighting in the middle of everybody. He got like 4 attempts and he finally made the last one. And he showed a relentlessness in there. And he was in there fighting with the long Mavericks like Gafford or Lively. One of those 2 guys was in there fighting with him for the rebound. And he didn't quit. And he made it go in. It was like the 4th attempt that went in. It was crazy, crazy good. 9 of 22 for Scott. He did miss all 5 of his threes, and he has missed all of his threes for the last couple of games. This is like a bit of a streak where Scotty has not made any 3-pointers in games recently. In some ways, I'm not upset about that. If the trade-off is that he's not going to shoot as much outside and he's going to go inside and post people and take really close, high percentage shots, I'm okay with this. The 3 is important, and he will get back to it. In some ways, he may dally around the 3 like Siakam has in his career. You got to think about Siakam wasn't really a 3-point shooter when he's younger. He kind of got into it a little bit. Then he went away from it for a while. and then he's come back to it more recently in the last couple years. This could be kind of a pattern with Scott. Is kind of like he has the three. He'll work on it, of course, all the time, and he will continue to take them. But there may be periods of time where he takes more or less of them, and we may be moving towards more of a time where he's not taking as many because he's doing so much down low. But yeah, stat stuff and 11 rebounds for Scott, 7 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 4 turnovers, 19 points. Yeah, I would put Scott in the 3 stars, but this is not the output that I expect from him normally. In some ways I expect a triple double. In some ways I expect a 20-point at least game. So yeah, Scotty shoot just a little bit better, and maybe cut down on the turnovers. We'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah, those are my 3 stars. We can talk about the other guys that were in the game also as we go through the chat. All right, yeah, I'm all over the place here. Trevor's saying we got another chance on Friday against Golden State. They will be on back-to-back, so we should beat them. This is interesting. This is like all 3 games this week have been against teams on the second night of a back-to-back. In some ways, it's like, man, this is lucky. The Raptors keep getting to play Indiana, Dallas, and now Golden State will be playing tonight and then coming to play us tomorrow. I mean, I don't hate this. If this is some of the schedule advantage that we're supposed to get that balances everything, I mean, then when they figure out everybody's schedule and strength of schedule and how hard it is, they're factoring in that we got these games against teams on the second night of back-to-back as part of the easier part of our schedule. So in some ways, we need to take advantage of the games that are supposed to be advantageous for us. As far as Golden State on the second night of a back-to-back coming to Toronto tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll have to see what happens with them tonight when they play. I believe they're playing New York. I'm not even totally sure. They're playing the Knicks, I believe. And then they'll come play us tomorrow. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Trevor's saying Lakers come from being behind by 21 points in the fourth quarter and come back and beat the Clippers. I would have to see this. Honestly, because I would wonder about the manipulation. I would wonder if somebody was handing them. I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I don't know. In some ways, that pisses me off. I wish the Clippers had won. If there's any kind of malarkey or any weirdness in the last part of the game by them eating up that lead the Clippers had, I'd have to see this. I'd have to see if the refs were being a little manipulative. I mean, the Lakers have whined recently about not getting calls correctly. And maybe the refs. There's been a lot of kowtowing by the NBA in weird ways by giving wins and stuff like that to make people happy when they feel like they've gotten screwed over. So maybe people are whining and they're getting payback in certain ways. There's some help for the Lakers to overcome the Clippers last night. Maybe that was making up for the little whiny session they had earlier this week about not getting calls. We'll have to see. Okay, Nako's saying, sorry, Lex, I got to give Luka credit on defense. I think some of our passes could have been better. There was one play where Alvin said, this is for people who don't think that that Luka can play defense. There was one play that was like that. And I was like, listen, I still take his body language. I still take the way he plays. I still take the career and the time on the Mavericks and whether his team was known as a good defensive team. It's a reputation. Sure, on a given play, a guy can be good defensive play or look good defensively on a given play. I'm talking about the body of work. I'm talking about the reputation. I'm talking about a lot. Is he going after people, getting right up on them and doggedly, like full court pressing, those kind of things? I don't know. In some ways, his reputation to me is that he is not the best defender. And I can see why people would say that because of the way he carries himself around the court. He's a lazy guy. He is so lazy. In some ways, like I wish he had Kobe or Michael's drive, because if he did and he looked better, like body-wise, and he tried harder, he could be even a whole other level better than he is right now. Seriously. So I don't know. He had some good defensive plays last night. Sure. But it's not his reputation. No, it's not. Chris is saying coaching item. Why not run Boucher out there a bit? Yeah, Luka picked us apart, but Lively and Gafford were the tools he used to do it in the first half. Set Dallas up nice in the third. We need size. Well, Trevor's got the answer right there underneath yours. And a lot of people were saying this last night, getting all pissy about Boucher not playing last night. Well, pay attention to the injury report, people, because Boucher was sick. He didn't even come to the game. You didn't even see him on the bench. Did you see him at shoot-around? Did you see him in the arena last night? He wasn't even at Scotiabank Arena last night. He was at home in bed, sick, because he has an illness. They announced it halfway through the afternoon yesterday that he was questionable for the game. We put it in the Facebook chat, and we were talking about it yesterday. Well, not really. I just noted that Chris Boucher is questionable with illness. So he wasn't even suited up. He wasn't even sitting at the end of the bench. Jalen McDaniels was the guy sitting at the end of the bench. So Chris wasn't available. This was not an option, Chris. Chris was not an option, Chris. Boucher didn't play because he was sick, as Trevor said. That's right. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even in the arena, y'all. He was at home in bed with the temperature. Dana's saying, good morning, everyone. I'm not mad about the loss. I'm mad at the Maverick fans for thinking that there's something so special, so they get my two-finger salute. Let's go. There were quite a few Luka and Dallas fans in the arena last night. They kept showing this one dude with a cape. I was like, all right, Mavs fan, y'all very kind of like, what are y'all doing here? Like, seriously, we're not very anywhere near. I know there's a lot of international basketball fans here, and some Torontonians are Luka fans. That's some of the things. Like, there's some kids and people that live in this city that are just Luka fans. They come to the game and they want to see Luka, and they wear their Luka jerseys and stuff like that. But there was a Mavs contingency in the crowd last night. I was actually shocked. I was actually shocked to see a lot of Mavs fans there. I mean, they're Luka fans. Let's just put it that way. You want to salute them, Dana? Go easy. You're just coming off the DL. You're on a minutes restriction, so be careful. You're on a minutes restriction. Two-finger salute. James is saying we should have got more for Pascal. Brown is so trash. That's a very opinionated comment. Wow, there's a lot in there. I don't know. Listen, the thing about the Siakam trade is we got to see what these picks are. Yeah, 3 first-round picks. Now, one of them got traded already. But this is the thing, James. That whole deal was not just Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora. It's those picks. The picks are the real crown jewel of the Siakam deal. So we got to see what those are. I mean, I get what you're saying. Listen, I don't think Bruce Brown was totally horrible last night. Let's look at him real quick since you brought him up. And you're feeling like, Bruce Brown. All right, he was, 0 for 5. That's pretty bad. 0 for 2 from 3. He did miss some layups, which was pissing people off in the chat last night. He was like, why do you make your layups? Stillman was upset about that. He's like, we can't make layups. 5 for 5 at the free throw line. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a minus 12 with 5 points. Yeah, he's one of the worst plus minuses. The bench did not play well for us last night. In some ways, the prediction that was made in the chat yesterday by Kareem Thomas that whoever's bench is going to play better is going to win was right. And the bench with Hardaway and Gafford was the big factor. Those two guys outscoring our bench together, the two of them. In some ways we didn't get the big game out of Grady. Abaji was an offer. And Bruce Brown was really quiet. Kelly Olynyk was okay coming off the bench with 13 points, 5 of 10 from the field. The bench production was not there. We had really good scoring from the starters overall, but our bench didn't show up last night. That's why I was like, let's not get too quick to say we got a bench mob again, guys. In some ways, we got to get some consistent effort and stuff from them over time, and then maybe we can declare the bench mob is back. Yeah, so I don't think I think it's too soon to say that. We got what we got, James. We can't go back and change the Pacers deal now. But let's see what those picks turn into, and maybe you'll feel better about it. Because, I don't know. Brown's going to have his ups and downs. In some ways, he wasn't good offensively last night. But I will say this. I'm trying to figure out who the plumber is. This is the mystery this week. Who is the plumber who's shutting off the water on Halliburton and Trae Young? Well, nobody really plumbed last night. Those guys went and did what they wanted. But I did see signs that if I have a suspect list of who's the plumber on the Raptors right now, Bruce Brown's on that list. Bruce Brown's on that list. Gary Trent Jr. is on that list. And Abaji's on that list. I'm going to try and figure out who it is. Now, is it a collective? Is this a plumbing company? Like they're all doing part of the plumbing work to cut off the water on the big star on the other side? Maybe. I mean, it's not so cut and dry anymore now that Anunoby's gone, who we know is stopping people. We got to figure out who is the stoppers now. And I have a feeling Bruce Brown may be one of the stoppers, just so you know. We'll have to see. Last night, nobody was stopping anybody, though. Monique is here. Good to see the superfan, Monique Lawrence, who went to the game last night. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Back and forth game all night. battled just a few mistakes. Free throws killed us, turnovers, wild crowd, couldn't move. That's how busy it was. Enjoying myself, caught up with Big Cat. So you're just hanging out with Jamal McGlure last night at the game. Big Cat, Jamal McGlure, Raptor great, former Raptor coach, global community ambassador. Community ambassador. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Was the crowd really good? I mean, on TV, it didn't seem like it was any extra or special. It seemed like it was kind of I don't know. I've been at games recently where we really got up. The end of the Houston game, the end of the Pacers game that I went to recently, crowd was lit and crazy and loud. In some ways, the opportunities to do that kind of stuff in the game last night weren't really there. And honestly, I didn't hear the crowd doing defense chants right last night. I was appealing to y'all yesterday to get those defense chants loud and really hear them on TV. In some ways, I didn't hear any of that last night during the game. And I'm a little disappointed that I didn't hear more of a presence from the crowd. I mean, it may have seemed crazy in the crowd last night, but on TV, it didn't come through. It did not come through about the crowd, what you're saying. Most saying, I told Mike Roach about the Raptor Freak Family crew too. Awesome. Mike Roach, man. I wish you had your show still with Chris Boucher, Hustle Play. It's a travesty that you and Mr. Boucher are not doing your show anymore, Mr. Roach. All the best to you, Mike Roach. And I see you still working production for the team on the TV stuff. And I see you at courtside talking to Alvin and getting everybody all ready and stuff like that. You go, Mike Roach. You're awesome. And hey, listen, if you enjoy our show, become a part of the Raptor Freak family, my guy. And you could be a part of our stream too, my guy. Yeah, Mike Roach is awesome. I always like Mike Roach. He's a good host. I really felt like he handled that Hustle Play podcast with the right amount of levity and seriousness as far as like how to keep it professional seeming, but also really out of bounds with any kind of topics and whatever. Mike Roach, good interviewer, good interviewer, very, very good interviewer. Yeah. Let's see. Most saying such a great game. Those who are mad, what for? You don't know basketball enough. Battled, love the efforts. I know there's no shame in our loss last night, is what Monique's saying. The people that are all bent out of shape and upset, you're casuals, you're newbies, you're people that just don't understand, the whole thing about it. Kyrie Irving is to be respected. Kyrie Irving is a weapon. Kyrie Irving is dangerous. Kyrie Irving has done this to us. He just has. Now, is there going to be a point in time where Scotty and Emmanuel and RJ and Grady get together and say, you know what, I'm sick of Kyrie killing us like this. Let's stop his ass this time. He is getting a little older. Let's try and just stop him this time. Yeah, let's figure it out. We're not going to let him beat us. That's what we got to get to, is when Scotty's going to be like, yeah, Kyrie, you're awesome. Your time is over. It's mine now. And you go and fucking take the game over and win it like Kyrie would, Scott. Yeah, that's the passing of the torch. That's the generational passing of torches between LeBron's generation, Kyrie's generation, to Scotty and Luka's generations. And that's what I'm saying. We got to take that torch from people like Irvin in the next couple of years. But for right now, Irvin still wears that crown. And he showed it on our court last night. He really did. He's amazing. He's an amazing player. As much as he's a knucklehead in certain ways with conspiracy theories and weird shit, he is I'm honestly like a lot of the top 75 players that the NBA selected in that list, I don't agree with, but Kyrie is one I do. He's got the championship. He's just something else in some ways that, yeah, he gets it. Even if he's not totally the best publicity guy, they step in it sometimes, weird shit going on around him. It's undeniable. That man is a great and top 75 great all time in the NBA. I have no problem with that. In some ways, I have problem with that with some of the more newer players like James Harden, Dame Lillard. Yeah, they shouldn't be on there. Anthony Davis. Those guys should not be on the top 75. But Kyrie Irving should. He definitely earned that spot. I won't deny him on that spot. That's for sure. Let's see. Chris is saying, that makes sense. Thanks for the info. Yeah, he was a late scratch yesterday afternoon, Boucher. Chris is saying Brown is a trash player. I think it's more the fit, but he's that type of winning guard who's scrappy, who should be played off ball in a 3-guard set with a passing big, not playing power forward, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah, I don't like playing small guys at higher positions. Maybe some people see some sort of fun in it, but I don't. I like having size to match size. And in some ways, Gafford's dominance in the game last night was partly because of this kind of switching down in size at positions. So I can get behind that. I think Chris is mostly right on here. He's not a trash player. It's maybe partly the fit, and that he is a winning type player. Obviously, he was on the Nuggets, and he very much was a huge X factor to help the Nuggets get their championship. So yeah, I think that Chris has got a pretty accurate comment here. Trevor's saying Masai may just pull off the biggest fitness rebel in NBA history. Fitness rebel? Fitness rebel. Oh, fitness rebel? Are you saying rebuild? Did you say rebuild? Is that rebel supposed to be rebuild? The quickest rebuild? Are you trying to say the quickest rebuild? Okay. I think I understand what you're saying, Trevor. You're saying Masai may have just pulled off the biggest, quickest rebuild in NBA history. All right, I got what you're saying. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we're keeping track of this or the stat, how you keep that stat. Is it on a stopwatch? All right, go ahead. Start your rebuild. Click. All right, you're going. Yeah, let's see. Come on. Let's see how quick it is. I'll stop the stopwatch when you're done. All right, come on. Masai, you got this. I can see it. Oh, your time's really good so far. All right, you're doing it real quick. Get Bobby. Bobby, get on the phone. Quick. Quick. Get done off the phone. All right, you're done. You did the Pacers deal. All right, good. All right, keep going. Yeah, you're still on the clock, the stop clock. We got to see if it's the quickest. I don't know. I'm just playing fun. Mo's saying my voice is gone from last night. Did my part. You go, Mo. Well, if anybody did their job, the superfan Monique Lawrence did going to the game and coming back with no voice today. All right, Mo, you're a real one. I always knew that. Mo's just been a real one from birth. She couldn't help but be a real one her whole life. And when the Raptors, yeah, she is definitely a real one. She is definitely a real one. Quiet the post game interviews so long. Okay, so yesterday we had Darko, Jakob, and who was the other interview? RJ. Those were the three interviews. Interesting stuff. More talking about Manu Ginobili with RJ Barrett and his love for him. Talking about having time off during the All-Star break and being in Toronto and working and just kind of setting things up here, spending time with Canadian family around Toronto. RJ really taking the break here in Toronto. Didn't go anywhere. But worked out and got his life more set up around here, spent time with family. So good stuff. And it sounds like, the break was so good for so many different guys. Yeah. Now, let's see. Name was saying tough game. It took a Luka triple-double and a Kyrie mixtape to beat us. That's not far accurate. That is not that far accurate. Seriously. I agree with you, Nameless. It was like a mixtape of Kyrie. And like I said, that parade of Raptor killers. It's kind of like, this is your life, Rock. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. This is your life. Here's PJ Washington. He killed you on the Hornets. Here's Tim Hardaway Jr. He killed you on the Mavericks many times. Here's Daniel Gafford. It's like Raptor Killer Parade yesterday. It really was like a Raptor Killer Parade. It was like a parade of Raptor Killers. And it was annoying. Let's just put it that way. It was very annoying. All right, let's see where we're at in the chat. We had Nameless's first comment. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. I can hear you. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys could hear me. In some ways, the little blue dots or green dots are not filling up. And that's why I was like, is it working? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Nako. And thank you, Bryce. Bryce is saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks and Lex. Good morning to you, Bryce. And good morning to Fiercely Salsera. Happy Thursday. Third quarter woes, but we played well overall. I can honestly say I don't mind our recent losses compared to earlier in the season. Very competitive. Very, very competitive. Yeah, that third quarter was awful. Outscored 40-25 in that quarter. The rest of the quarters, we did really well. In fact, we outscored them in the second and the fourth, 33-30 in both quarters. And then we lost by 2 in the first quarter, 36-34. But we were hanging with them. Very, very high scoring. That's the style of the Mavericks. In some ways, if we wanted to win that game, we needed to slow it down and make it maybe a little bit more slow. But in some ways, that's our style too. So it's like we got to go. Put that pedal to the metal and just go. Because in some ways, that's the new Raptors. It's not the old style where we're trying to beat them with our slog it down, physical, not as many basket kind of style. No, we're more of an offensive team now. And we can't be used to like, all right, we got to hold this team under 100. No, we're trying to outscore them. We're trying to get in scoring race and just outscore them by the end of it. And that's just how it is. In some ways, Kyrie was unstoppable. We needed stops in the fourth, and Kyrie was unstoppable. How do you do that? How do you beat Kyrie? How do you beat Kyrie? Kyrie is Kyrie. It's like in the fourth, if he wants to go get points, he's going to go get points. How are you going to stop him? How are you going to stop him? He's very hard to stop. I wish they had double teamed him a bit more. Some of the people were saying, don't double team Luka because Luka's so good to pass. He's going to get it out of the double team no matter. So play Luka straight up. And as Alvin was saying, play a bigger defender on him. He has to work harder when somebody's taller than him. If you play a smaller guard on him, he has an easier time. So it's like Scotty, people like that. They had Jakob on Luka for a while last night. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, double Kyrie and send a tall guy, a one player at Luka. That's the right strategy, I think, defensive wise. You got to double Kyrie so that you can try and force the ball out of his hands. Just don't let him even have it. That was a Nick Nurse strategy for years before. Is certain players you just are too dangerous. You just don't even you try and avoid them even getting the ball. You try and deny them getting the ball. And when they have the ball, you send that instant double so they have to cough it up. That's what you do. In some ways, there are some Nick Nurse philosophies that Darko should maybe hold on to and keep around. And doubling Kyrie might have been the right decision last night. He should have done it earlier. There were a couple times he doubled him, but not enough. And he ate us up for it. Yeah, he shouldn't have been getting the ball so much. That's part of it right there. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I agree with you. With better conditioning, Luka can be better. Yeah, it's just the truth. I mean, I don't feel like, listen, you guys are fun. You guys are gifted with such great, immense talent, Nikola and Luka. But in some ways, if y'all worked as hard as everybody else did in the league, let's just imagine what you would be like. Y'all look like doughboys. Y'all look like plumbers from an old generation. Yeah, everybody's calling the old generation plumbers. Well, y'all actually look like plumbers. Seriously, your body types. It's like, come and see my sink. I am not getting a good drain in my bathroom sink, please. I put in liquid plumber, it just won't go through. Can you look at this from me, Luka, while you're here in Toronto real quick? Can you get down under there and maybe your butt crack will be hanging out? I mean, they do look like plumbers. Seriously. They could get better bodies. Like, seriously, get better bodies. Grady, don't be like them. Get definition on your muscles. Don't be like these guys. Don't be like, oh, Luka's so good. I want to be like Luka. Don't be like Luka, Grady. Don't be like a butterball turkey for a Thanksgiving dinner. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. Yeah. Nako's saying, I really like the competition the first time. It was exciting. Once again, just like the Indiana game, Raptor games are very fun because there's a back and forth. And in some ways, we feel really like we got some guns in the OK Corral with IQ and the way he shoots. Oh my gosh. It's like when IQ just makes a shot out of the blue, I'm like, yeah, this is our team now. I'm like, yeah. Don't you get that spirit, Raptor freaks? When you see IQ hit a couple shots, like certain ways that he hits it, it's like, man, we haven't had a guy who shoots like this and makes these shots like this. And I could get used to this. IQ offense, the way he takes his shots, the way he just hits a shot. Oh, you left him open and he's 6 feet away from the three-point line. Yeah, it don't matter. He's going to hit it. Boom. He has that weird set with his feet and he has that shot, like the way he shoots it. And it's almost like he's waiting sometimes on plays and they know he's there, but he's already had his feet set like 5 seconds before they pass him the ball. They pass the ball and Emmanuel's feet are set perfect and he shoots it. That's what it is. It's fundamentals. It's a repetition. It's him doing this over and over again. It's him knowing it's like his spot and the way he needs to have his feet. And then when he catches it, it can be very quick and put it in. Yeah. I love it. In some ways, watching that, it's so fun to see Emmanuel shoot for us and it go in. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful thing. Most saying I still need to watch the Dennis Schroeder interview, but I don't really watch the Raptors show anymore, but I'll try, I guess. This week has been a banner week for the Raptors show. That Alvin Williams interview we talked about already this week has been fantastic. Him talking about the whole Vince Carter and whether we should retire his jersey and the honoring of Vince Carter here in Toronto and the issues with that. Such good journalistic work. Seriously. Like in some ways, I would give them the Raptor Freak Peabody Award for great journalism for that interview with Alvin Williams this week and Vivek Jacob and William Liu. Very, very good job, William Liu. Well, he kind of hit it around the park again yesterday with Dennis Schroeder's interview. I'm so shocked Dennis circled back and talk to these jabronis after he's been traded to Brooklyn. Dennis was so open and honest. He laid everything out on the table. Y'all, he loves us. He loves Toronto. He's really sad that he left. In fact, I can go look at his Instagram stories real quick and tell you this. All right, first he's got his new Pumas on blast, the gold PEs, the DS17 PEs. Go check them out. If you love Dennis, go buy some new Pumas, some gold Pumas, and support our guy. Now, this is the next picture is the one that's driving me nuts. This is like 228 at 10:22, 22:22. And Dennis is saying, all I ever dreamed about is in this picture. And it's a picture of his family. It's Ellen, his 3 kids, but Junior's wearing the Raptors shirt. And I'm telling you, it's written right underneath it. Like he dreamed about being on the Raptors. And he said this yesterday in the interview. He said, listen, down the road, if we can circle back and I can be on the Raptors again, I'd like to do that. He said that at the end of the interview yesterday. He has no hard feelings towards the Raptors. He loves Toronto. He loves our fans. He loves us. It was amazing what Dennis said. If anybody hates Dennis, go watch the Dennis interview with Will Liu yesterday. Will Liu and S on the Raptors show. It's phenomenal. Dennis said basically, he said one of the things he said that was really interesting to me is like, I did go to the team that has the colors that I like the most in the NBA. I knew he did too. Like when he showed up and when he was going to Brooklyn, I was like, well, at least he's going to a team that he likes the colors. See, that's how much I know the Raptors. And he confirmed it yesterday. He said, I really do like the black and white color scheme of the Nets jersey style. So it's true. Because I've heard him and Ellen talk about the colors black and white and how they are very big in their lives, like in the styles and the things that they do with their furniture and the way they decorate their house. They really like the whole look of black and white, the contrast. I mean, in some ways it speaks to their relationship. In some ways it's just like Dennis has been very big fan of certain things, and Ellen loves the color black. She really, really does. So in some ways, the whole thing about being on the Nets has been good from a color scheme wise thing to him. He's like, oh, at least I love their jersey colors, is what he said. It sounds like he doesn't like anything else about it in some ways. This is like a bad situation. He respects Kevin Ollie because he, as he put in the sweat and blood like he does in the court. When you have a coach that's like that, that makes you feel like, they know what they're talking about. And they know that from a real perspective, being in your place in the NBA, what it's like being a pro. And sometimes coaches can't have that. People like Spoelstra, certain people that never played. So he does like that about Kevin Ollie. And this is the interview where he said that stuff about Rajakovic that I said earlier. He said that, look, some people are trying to say that some people can't be a head coach if they're assistant coaches. They're good assistant coaches, but not a good head coach. He said, basically, Darko's my friend. He's a very good coach, and he's going to be a top 5 or top 10 coach very soon in the NBA. And that's the interview. He said that. So Dennis was amazing. There's no hard feelings. In some ways, he wishes things had gone better. In some ways, they try to ask him, well, did they tell you something different in summer and it didn't come true? Did they lie to you? He said, well, in some ways, they did tell me. Basically, Darko called me and he said, I want you to come to the Raptors and do what you did for Team Germany on our team. And that's what he wanted to do earnestly. He wanted to come off the wave of FIBA World Cup, being the MVP and the gold medal champions, Team Germany, and have the same kind of effect on the Raptors. And I was like, all about it. That's part of the reason why I was like, Dennis is, dude, we need to be happy he's here. He's bringing that success with him from international play. And well, at some point, and he even said this, he said, look, we tried really hard with that talent, OG, Pascal, everybody on the team at the beginning of the year. We really had the intention to try and make it successful. It didn't work for some reason. He said it didn't work exactly right. And I understand that's why we got disassembled. That if we were successful in gelling and making everything work from the beginning of the season with the team we had, this team would still be together. But it didn't work. It wasn't gelling, and it had to go away. And that's the business. And he understands that. I think that Dennis is amazingly mature, worldly perspective, and he understands outside of his own selfish thoughts and feelings about things, the whole grand scheme of things. And I'm going to say this right now. Dennis basically declared in the Raptors show yesterday with Will Liu that he is going to be Raptors alumni, and we should learn to love him and respect him. And when he comes back, we should need to treat him like a hero around our team too, because he's in good standing. He loves our city. He loves our fans. He said, this is what he said in the interview yesterday. He said, the Raptors fans did not have to accept me and take me in like they did, and they did. and I appreciate that from them. He's a real one, y'all. Seriously. In some ways, he did confirm his family still lives in Toronto right now, but they are working on getting an apartment in Brooklyn so that they can come and move there. But they are still staying here for right now, the Shooters, in this transitory period between him getting traded from us. If you have not watched the interview, like Mo said, she hasn't watched it yet, you need to watch it because it's the second most important video the Raptor show may have done in a long time. And they both happened this week. So good stuff, Will Lou. Honestly, you're doing a good job this week, Will Lou. You're actually getting people on your show and asking the important questions and getting good work done. In fact, you're doing journalism, bro. You roundabout got to journalism. I do kind of like your roundtable of guests. I like that you've had Lindsey Dunn on as your co-host. I like that you've had Vivek Jacob and S, and Blake is, of course, in the rotation, I'm sure, still. And I think that's better. I think that's better in some ways. I would prefer Alex Wong to just be your regular co-host every single day. But if he has other commitments, it's too hard or something, whatever happened with him, I like the revolving door of co-hosts. In some ways, if it was just going to be you and Blake, yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You need to have different faces in there. I think Lindsay's been a great choice. I think that if you get Savannah Hamilton in there again, that'd be very smart. So, get diverse co-hosts and have a rotation. Hey, call me up, bro. I hate Rogers, and you probably get a really crazy episode if you put me on as your co-host. Yeah, it'd be really weird. Yeah, I don't think it would ever happen for a bunch of reasons. But just imagine me being a guest co-host on the Raptor show with Will Lou. That'd be funny. That would be very funny, honestly. That would be really funny. It'd be interesting. In some ways, I could be enough to shut up with my anti-corporate talk just for one day, maybe, to try it. I don't know. It'd be weird. It'd be very weird. All right, let's keep going. Chris is saying, you got to remember the Eastern Europe big guy, and Luka is a huge guy. Never had the body chemistry to go to 3% body fat. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to make fun of people for their bodies. In some ways, I don't want to. I'm just talking about these guys are top level competitors in the world at a sport. And why wouldn't you gain every advantage you could get by training your body and making it more muscular? Why wouldn't you try and do that? Like, it makes me wonder what these guys are doing in the off season. Like, seriously, they're just throwing beers back and like watching horses. And meanwhile, like Scotty's busting his ass every single day the whole summer. That's what I'm talking about. In some ways, these guys that have it handed to them because they're just like God-given talent, but they don't work on top of that, they don't get to their ceiling. They kind of just, they're very good. They could be like this. That just makes you think, what is their fucking ceiling if they did do this? Seriously. If Nikola would pick up some weights, if Luka would just try and get some more definition, if they worked on maybe their nutrition, that's part of it right there. Your body changes with what you eat. These guys are eating some fucked up bullshit, some European food, I'm sure, that's just not good for you. I'm sure, because they look like seriously, he looks like Pillsbury Doughboy, Luka Doncic. He's out there, he looks like a stuffed cannoli. Seriously, that man doesn't need to look like a tube of toothpaste. He could look a lot different with his body. You're 25, you're very young, Luka. You can still make these changes. In some ways, I should shut up. Maybe this is the way the only way we have a chance. When Luka and Nikola pick up the weights, then it's all over for the league even more so. Maybe Victor will be the impetus for this. Maybe Victor will come out there. He'll actually kill them. And they're like, man, we got to start lifting weights. So we're going to try and beat Wembayama. I don't know. Whatever it's going to be, where it's going to be. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I love your jokes. Quickly, lively, Darth Vader mask, etc. Yeah. Thanks, Cool Cat. Well, honestly, if you're going to be here every day, I guess you do like my sense of humor. I know. Lively. Very lively. Comes as advertised. Yeah, he's annoying. And he wears that mask. It makes it even crazier. Like, he's kind of scary. Like, in some ways, Derek Lively, he plays for the Mavericks, is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's right. In some ways, I'm going to start calling him Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because that man is out there running around like whatchamacallit from that movie. The bad guy with the mask on. He might as well have a chainsaw out there the way he's running around and blocking shots and being everywhere. Derek Lively, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What's the name of the main character again? It's like Meathead or something like, I don't know. I'm not a big horror fan. What is the name of the main bad guy in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'm drawing a blank. Y'all write it in, I'll see it at the end. Seymour saying whatever dinner they had, pizza, steak, fish. All I know it showed in the second half. They might have ate too much. Well, they didn't eat the dinner yet. They're going today. Yeah, it came out yesterday, very much on the Raptors show, also in the interview, that the Raptors are getting their celebratory dinner for winning 3 in a row today after practice. They did not have it on Tuesday. They didn't do it yesterday. They're getting their celebration reward dinner tonight after practice today. So yeah, they're getting that was not the excuse, Seymour. It's not that they were full up a dinner or nothing because they didn't get their dinner yet. They're getting it tonight. Chris is saying we need a third big. Maybe the draft comes through for us. Gafford was such a great pickup for them. We need a top threat player if we can swing it. Well, maybe it's Zach Edey. Maybe it's Zach Edey. We'll see. We'll see what happens this offseason. In some ways, I agree. I mean, we only have one center. Now we got two, and now we're greedy. We want three. That's right. Fiercely saying Dallas outplayed us. It was what it was. It happens. We'll adjust for next time we face them. Few mistakes on our end, but not an ugly loss. It just sucks. Atlanta won. I'm on standings watch. I like this. I like this. Maybe you can keep me up to date on what's going on. Well, we're not going to play Dallas again until the next year, unless we play them in the finals, which the likeliness of that is not very good in all kinds of ways. So, yeah, we won't see Dallas again until next year. We played both games against them this season. So it could be a very different Dallas team next year that we see. It could be a very different Raptors team the next time we see Dallas. So, yeah, we won't see them for a bit. Yeah, Atlanta won without Trey. Yeah, interesting. Milbester saying, good morning, Lex. How are you? Long week. That controversial late ending win versus the Pistons, but refs owed us for Houston. Late ending foul game on Brunson that shouldn't have happened. Pelicans beat us. Yeah, you guys got a makeup game. It's weird. The NBA is treating things like in a game, a makeup call in a game. Well, that may be like, all right, we missed a call at that end. We're going to miss a call from them on the other end. Or we made a bad call and you shouldn't deserve that. Well, we'll make a bad call against them on the other end. Well, they're doing it with games now. They had a bad call for y'all in the Houston game, and they made up for it by giving a bad call to the Pistons and giving you a win back. It's so goofy. In some ways, it's not fair. It's not fair to the Pistons, but maybe they'll swing in. Oh, yeah, they gave a win to the Pistons over the Bulls now. It's like a wave of screwing teams over. Who are they going to screw over in favor of the Bulls now? Because they got the last team that was screwed in this whole wave of giving wins to people because people got screwed. It's crazy, Mel Bester. It's crazy. G saying, I would love a lively type in the draft if possible. You know, in some ways, our lively type is Chris. It really is. Chris and Jalen McDaniels are similar kind of players in some ways. And Jalen's not kind of, but Chris can be kind of like lively. I don't know if there's lively types out there. In some ways, he's his own person. You know, to have that kind of motor, to have that kind of ups and hops, you know, that's not common. In some ways, he's really crazy, unbounded energy because he's like really all over the place. And like I said, they may need to test him this morning. Seriously. I know I'm joking, but I'm not. I know I'm joking, but I'm not. I mean, seriously, when a guy's that hyped up and crazy and all over the court like that, maybe you need to like come and see them tomorrow with a piss test, is what I'm saying. Milbester's saying we got the Warriors tonight on TNT. Yeah, we're going to see them tomorrow. So rough them up a bit for us, Milbester, in New York and Madison Square Garden tonight. Rough up Steph Curry and his crew because we got to see them tomorrow here in Toronto on Friday night. So, yeah, you guys, listen, in some ways, I want y'all to lose so that they're happy because they won their last game. I don't like them, but in some ways, also, I understand you want the win. I don't know. In some ways, I want them to be tired. Can you run them ragged? That's what I want. Can you just run them ragged like crazy? Can you have a really high scoring game? Can you play very, very high level and make them have to play a high level against y'all? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, Milbester. Can you do something for me, 21? Yeah, Blackhawks saying, good game, no shame. On to the next one. There you go, Neil. That's right. That's right. Exactly right. Fiercely saying, Kyrie is a beast. In my book, he deserved to be part of the 75 players more than Lillard, but his wokeness hindered that. Yeah, I don't even know his wokeness. It's not that Kyrie is woke. I mean, I guess he's woke in certain ways. You know, in some ways, I could say maybe he's, you know, conspiracy theories are weird. Flat Earth, that's not woke. No, I wouldn't call somebody who thinks the earth is flat a woke mentality. It's the opposite of woke. So, I don't know. I don't know what it is that you call what Kyrie has. In some ways, it's conspiracy theory. And he's progressive on like the issue of Palestine. Oh yeah. Like what's going on with Palestine? I'm totally with Kyrie. And what Kyrie's saying about what's happening over there, I'm with him on this. It's messed up what's going on over there with the people of Palestine right now and the genocide that's occurring right now. The very systematic erasure and like wiping off the map kind of behavior of population of people. It's really disgusting. It's really disgusting. It's just like the Holocaust. I mean, people say, "Whoa, well, Lex, that's hot button topic." You're gonna say what's going on over there? Yeah, it's the same kind of shit. Same kind of shit, just different flavors. Yeah, two rights make a wrong. No, two wrongs make a wrong. Two wrongs make a wrong. It was wrong in World War II when Adolf Hitler did it. Is wrong right now when Benjamin Netanyahu does it right now. Same people, same kind of shit, same kind of ideologies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You become to beat a monster. Do you become a monster? What the fuck is this shit? Yeah, same ideologies. Genocide is the ideology. It's the ideology. All right, we're going real. Another place. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Nameless is saying if either Luka or Kyrie doesn't have a half Hall of Fame performance, we win. Maybe. I don't know. We played at a very high level for most of the game. I think that it's this. When you want to beat a team like the Mavericks, you let the superstars have it and nobody else, or you don't let the superstars have it and the other people have it. What happened last night is the superstars had it and the bench had it. You can't have it both ways. Either you let Luka and Kyrie do their thing, or just one of them do their thing, but you can't let Lively, Washington, Hardaway, and all those other guys do it too. It's like you got to limit one area. You either limit everybody else or you limit those big names, and then you can win. That if you don't do either, and they're hitting on all cylinders, boom, you're done. You're done. You can't beat them. And the contributions of Gafford, Lively, Hardaway, PJ Washington were just as important for them to win last night as Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And that's part of it right there. That's it right there. Chris is saying it's true. Kyrie did the graveyard shift on us and he dropped us into that 6-foot hole. Laugh out loud. The guy's a professional. When isolated on Grady, who was good, he scored at will. Dick had no clue. These are the lessons Grady's talking about. Every game I get lessons. I come out there and I learn new lessons. Well, you just learned the Kyrie Irving lesson, Grady Dick, last night. Scotty, you learned a little bit more about Kyrie Irving. Yeah, something to learn, maybe emulate, maybe strive for yourself. That's what I say. Milbester saying, I didn't see a foul call at the end of the game versus the Pistons. Did you see what Monty, their head coach, said after the game? Well, Milbester, you're a fucking Knick fan. Of course you didn't see that foul that everybody else in the world saw, and I saw too, that Dante DiVincenzo did. There was a foul. You're crazy. You're just a blind homer, okay? Yeah, you can go ahead and say, I didn't see the foul that Monty Williams got bent out of shape. Yeah, you go ahead and just believe that orange and blue lie that you're telling yourself. You're just following company lines, Milbester. Give me a break. I'm unbiased in this. It was definitely a foul, and the Pistons got screwed, and Monty Williams is exactly right. You're obviously a Knicks freak. Of course you're going to think that, man. If I was in your position, I'd do the same thing if it was the Raptors. So, yeah, come on. You're not partial on this. I mean, you are partial on this. You're not impartial on this. Come on now. He called the play an abomination. It was. You know what DiVincenzo did? He tackled him like it was a football game. He came into him with his shoulder into his gut and made him lose the ball that way. Yeah, that's a foul. Monty Williams is right. Monty Williams was right. Yeah, you can get all upset about the Houston game and talk about what happened in the Houston game, but you can't see the bullshit that happened in the Pistons game with y'all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, very biased, Milbester. But you know what? You're a good fan. You're a good fan. You go ahead and see what you want to see, Knicks fan. Yeah, you go ahead and say that. Yeah. David's saying Kyrie Irving is ridiculously good at basketball. Fun game to watch. His handles are amazing. You know what? His handles are amazing. Seeing him the way he dribbles is crazy, but the shots And the dedication to making shots. Like, he's a very good shooter. Like, if he's open for threes, if he's not open for threes, he's making them. The way that he dribbles and finds spots in the lane and gets space is masterful. He could teach a TED Talk or an extended advanced level placement course on how to get to space and get your open shot by doing this and this with your dribble and creating space. He's amazing. He is amazing. I don't like the guy. In some ways, it's like I said, the flat earth stuff, the anti-vax stuff, in some ways reprehensible to me. But I cannot hate the game. That's the thing. I can separate Kyrie the person from Kyrie the player, and I'm in awe of Kyrie the player. That's what I'll say right now. Yeah. Most saying stars of the game for her are RJ, IQ, and Scotty. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That's not a bad three. David saying next time Dallas comes to Toronto, I'm going to the game with a big white sign with bold lettering, which will read "Get well soon, Luka." Okay, that's a weird one, David. Next season, we're done with Dallas for the year now, 1-1 for the season. They needed some get back against us. They remember that game earlier this season. Of course, when we played them before, we beat them with OG. OG Plumbing Company did do some good work in the first game, and OG was a factor in why we beat the Mavericks at the beginning of the season when he was still on our team. So in some ways, not having OG would have helped last night. Let's just put it that way. OG would have definitely helped the Raptors possibly beat the Mavs last night. Possibly. Milbester saying only Cade showed up scoring like 35 points. Freaking ridiculous. Duran Ivy 10 plus, but Cade carried them all night. But Knicks fans worrying about Burke struggling. He's in a slump. It happens. Okay. Yeah. Cade's normally like getting huge numbers, and the rest of the guys are struggling. That's just normal for the Pistons right now. But they're going to win more on the way out. And people are going to lose the Pistons, and everybody's going to get upset. But like I said, they've gotten better. They've developed. That's what it is. Blackhawks saying all losses are fuel for the future. That's right. That's right. There's no shame in losing to Luka Doncic when the greatest player that's ever played the NBA on his 25th birthday. Let's just say that. Nako's saying, I think if Luka doesn't go off, we win. If just Kyrie goes off, we win. Like I said, Nako, it's really the differences between, all right, if we could limit one of the big guys, but we need to limit either the big guys or the bench. And we can't have both going. It's like you can let Kyrie and Luka get theirs, but if nobody else scores or does anything worthwhile, you win. Now, if you don't let those big stars do anything and you let the bench, anybody but like Luka or Kyrie philosophy, you can win that way too. So it's one or the other. You can't have both happen. David saying, I think he is, Lex, in reference to Kyrie and his handles. I think he is. Okay. Milbester saying, don't feel bad for this loss, Lex. Mavs beat us during season 2. I think twice they beat us season series. They swept y'all. They beat you both games. Well, that may be in some ways the personalness of Doncic versus Brunson and their friendship and their time together on the Mavs. There may be a little bit extra get up to go against their former point guard that was in Dallas that plays for the Knicks now. And that may be a big part of it right there. They fell behind at Dallas and tried to come back, then lost. The Knicks lost twice to Dallas. Yeah, they're not a bad team. I think, like I said at the beginning of the stream, they're better than they were last year. They have a bit more better defense now. They didn't have a good defense, even with Porzingis around a couple years ago. They have not had a good defense in Dallas for a while. It looks like they're getting some of the pieces with Gafford and Washington showing up more recently. It's very interesting how Dallas rejected the whole using Grant Williams idea in the middle of the season and shipped him to Charlotte. It was a good idea at the beginning of the year in the offseason, get Grant Williams for scrappiness, leadership, but they found out he's an asshole and he probably didn't fit with the team and the chemistry because he's got a personality. He's fucked. Honestly, I don't like Grant Williams. And I'm not surprised he got shipped out of Dallas just after half a season to Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, he may be a part of it too, that why they're better now. Milbester's giving me the cutoff at 9:45. Thank you, Milbester. This is funny. I love that you're here early and you're giving the cutoff. This is hilarious. This is such a turn of events. G saying Luka's passes are some of the best I've ever seen. Kyrie is one of the craftiest players I've ever seen. Yet the Raptors kept up until the third. No shame in this loss. Yeah, and we're young Padawans. We have a lot to grow into. I mean, Scotty, oh man, he shows that brilliance, that amazing attitude and effort all the time in the games. It's so fun to watch them right now. And in some ways, like you guys are saying, there's no shame in this loss that we had last night. And in some ways, this is just parts of the ups and downs of the NBA season. Let's beat Steph and the Warriors tomorrow night to make up for it. How about that? Nako's saying Joker is probably a better passer than Luka. I see Joker as overall better. I think if Luka has the high level role players, he wins a chip. I think Joker has a little more help. This is true. Yeah. But I also think that Jokic is a better player than Doncic. I think he just is. I think he is. I think you might be right. Joker may be a better passer than Doncic also. I'm just trying to figure out if Luka is one of these players like Trae Young that is just like, I don't know, all offense, not enough defense. Does that win championships? That's what we're wondering. Because in some ways, Luka can be exploited on the defensive end by a really good offense. He can be the weakest link on the defensive side sometimes. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Alley-oop to Dana for the salute and David for the sign. Let's go Raptors. All right, David and Dana. Cowboys throwing 2 balls up in the air, and Dana caught one of them with her broken finger, and David got the other one. There you go. There's the dunks. Thank you, Cowboy. Milbester saying, also, Lex, I was watching the Lakers-Clippers game. What a comeback by the Lakers, down like 20 in the fourth, and LeBron made 5 3-pointers. Goes 30-plus points, and Lakers came back to win. Clippers choked badly. I wonder how much manipulation the refs were doing to help LeBron get that game. I have to see the highlights. I have to see the little subtle things, and I have to see the ref crew. In some ways, I'm going to go do research on this after the stream because I want to see how the Lakers-Clippers game went down to allow the Clippers to lose like that. And I want to see how much they choked or how much things were manipulated. Yeah, Fiercely saying, I mentioned this yesterday, but the live got cut. Not to body shame Luka, but he puts up crazy stats despite looking out of shape and lazy. Imagine if he intensely conditioned. My goodness. Yeah, thanks for sharing the comments after I got cut off so early. It was unfortunate, but I got most of what I wanted to say yesterday for the preview out already before I was rudely interrupted by a service interruption by my internet and a YouTube jumping, pushing me off. So, yeah, I did see your comment on this, and it's part of the reason why I brought up the subject now. In some ways, I just wonder about this. I just wonder, what if Luka went into the weight room a little better? Randolph saying, what's up, beloved Raptor Freaks? Most informative game. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Today, we are going about our day, walking by faith, unhindered by a loss. We will win again. Randolph, I love it. I'm going to give you a dunk for your blessings today. I really, really appreciate you, Randolph Phillips. And blessings back to you. And I'm with you, man. We walk forward with our heads up in pride. For a good effort against a very high-quality team. And you know what? We just go and move on to the next one. This is what we do. We learn from the wins. We learn from the losses, and we get better. That's the whole process for the Raptors now. That's right. David's saying, we're not losing games because IQ skips after a bucket. Laughed out loud. Yeah, I don't think that. I don't know. Did somebody say that? I don't think anybody said that. No, I was saying that people were saying that we're not a good team or we don't have a good coach because he's too nice and he's like too nice to players. He wants some people want him to be meaner to our players, but they don't understand just how intense and how much he's demanding of them. He's just doing it with a smile. Okay. Darko haters, he can tell them to do stuff with a smile. He can say, yeah, you got to do this better, Emmanuel, when you're coming out. Nobody's above reproach. He talks to all of them that way. He can tell Scotty how to adjust things and tell him what to do. He's the coach. He knows what he's saying. And these guys trust him and they believe in him. So they're going to take his advice. So Fiercely saying that interview with Dennis was really good. He's been a class act about the situation. Props to him. No, he's awesome. He is the epitome of he could teach people how to be an NBA pro the correct way in all kinds of different aspects, whether it's the way you carry yourself with your family life, the way you carry yourself with your teammates and your coach, the way you carry yourself with the media, the way you carry yourself with the fan nation and the cities that you play for. It's like Dennis said yesterday, I have a collection of jerseys that young Junior Schroeder wears because they tried to say something about the birthday party on the Raptors show. They're saying, you know, you got that cake and it had the Raptors logo on it. What's all that about? And so, well, we ordered the cake before I got traded. And the way the trade went down was crazy because we just came back from Charlotte and I've been sleeping and I was woken up and I was just abruptly all of a sudden on the Brooklyn Nets. And it was very disruptive and it was very shocking in some ways for him. He was reeling from it a little bit, guys. And So he was saying, it's like, look, my son, Junior Schroeder, wears whatever jersey I am wearing at that time. So he's wearing the Nets jersey now, but he wears all the jerseys. And in some ways, he said that Junior is very much a fan of all the teams he's played for. So he will continue to root for the Raptors, even though he's not here, just like he continues to root for the Lakers, and he will now root for the Nets. So in some ways, Junior Schroeder has the collection of all the teams his dad played for. And he's proud of the path and the history of his father and all the different stops he went to. Now, the Raptors stop was very brief. And like I said, Dennis alluded at the end that he would like to run it back with us. What does that mean? That means he'd like to be reacquired and be on our team again at some point in the future. So he can't be that bad the way things went. He said the Raptors handled it very well with him. He understands it's a business. He understands if the Raptors team, the beginning of the year, had gotten successful results, that maybe he'd still be in a Raptors jersey, just like Siakam, just like Anunoby right now. So, yeah, he's amazing. Honestly, everybody watch the Raptors show with Dennis Schroeder yesterday. It will tell you everything you need to know about him. Cowboy saying, Lex and Raptor Freaks, I was doing some scouting yesterday. Check out Ryan Dunn out of Virginia. Let me know what you think. All right, we're going to do a scout because Bradley has brought me a new name. Let's make sure I don't put in Ryan Dunn of Jackass fame. Rest in peace. It's sad about him. All right, let me see what they're saying about old Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn is from the Virginia Cavaliers. He is 20 years old or 21 years old. He's born January 7th, 2003. So he's an ACC player. He is 6'8" and 208 pounds. He went to Oak Hill Academy, which is a very prominent high school. Let's see. He's the younger brother of baseball player Justin Dunn. That's interesting. All right, let's go look at a clip of him and see what we think. This is a live scout, first time look at Ryan Dunn by Alexi Otts on the Raptor Freak stream. And I've never seen him before. So I'm going to see what he looks like. And I'll give you my assessment of him, my official scout. All right, let's look at the first clip. And the first clip, season highlights of him at Virginia. This is for the 2024 draft because it's coming up. Let's see. All right, these are his stats. I don't want to see stats. I want to see highlights. Come on, give me some highlights. All right, let's see. There's a dunk. All right, there's a pass over the side. What number is he? He's number 13. Looks like he has really long arms, Cowboy. 6'8" with a very long wingspan. Looks like he's got a good step to get the basket. Here he is with the back of the basket. He kind of has a swooping motion. There he is posting up, fade away. Nice little shot. You know what? It's interesting. He's got very long limbs. It looks like he's got a pretty good three. Oh, there's a nice putback. A good timing to put that back. There's a lob pass to him. He looks like a good lob target, like a good threat to get lobs. Very long arms, Bradley. I'll say this. Ryan Dunn looks like he has his strength is his length with his arms. He's got extremely long arms. He likes to spin a lot, too, on his offensive moves. So maybe there's a little bit of a good faking and spinning. Ooh, that's a monster jam. Okay, all right. So we got a power forward with long arms in Ryan Dunn of Virginia. Nice scout. Nice scout. I don't know. That's interesting. Like, let me think about it. He could be like Lively. Maybe he's a little bit like Lively. A little bit. I don't know. I'd have to see him. He didn't block any shots in that clip, though, that I just saw. But thanks, Cowboy, for bringing Ryan Dunn to me. Doesn't seem too bad. That wingspan looks really attractive. David Saborn saying Abaji's interview was great. He's so well-spoken and articulate. Great smile. And I'm surprised how comfortable he is with the media. Yeah. Yeah. I wish he had played better last night. I just want to see him get more consistent night after night. That's one thing I want from people like Gary, Grady, and Oshai and Bruce. Those four guys in particular, I want consistent efforts night in, night out. I want y'all to show up, is what I'm saying. Chris is saying, Luka is in shape, people. Laugh out loud. My God, some people are in shape but don't look like David Robinson out there. I'm telling you guys, Eastern European carry some fat on them. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying he's out of shape. That's not what I'm saying, Chris. I'm saying he could be in better shape. You know, it's the same thing as like Dusty Rhodes back in the day. Wrestling in the 70s and 80s, Dusty Rhodes was a fat slob. He looked like a piece of shit as far as his physique. He looked fat, but he was in very good shape. He could wrestle for an hour and not get tired. He had conditioning. These guys gonna have conditioning, but do they have the strength they could have? Do they have the body they could have if they chose to go that route? That's what I'm saying, Chris. You can say, yeah, he's in shape. Well, of course he is. He can run up and down the court for a whole NBA game and run around like that. Of course he's in shape, but is he really in shape is what I'm saying. Could he add more? Could he do more? A lot of NBA players, that's why they stay up at night. It's like, couldn't I do more to be a better player? And they have that trauma, that drama in their life. And it's like, man, I could be doing more. And I feel guilty because I'm not, because I could have been an extra, even better player. That's what drives a lot of these guys, is the fear of not doing enough. Well, I'm wondering about Nikola and Luka. Are you afraid of not doing enough with your body? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, they can run up and down. They got it conditioning, but there's other things they could be doing, Chris. Come on now. Fiercely saying, speaking of Oshai, I don't know who was interviewing him, but they tried to spin his words. He said Darko was intense, but the next question attempted to put a negative light on the term MF. Yeah, I forget. I think that was Kayla. Wasn't that Kayla? It was either Kayla or Savannah who did that. Either way, it doesn't matter. I love what O'Shea said. It's like the coach is intense. Y'all think he's just a smiley, happy, nice guy with a pizza party guy? Whatever your bullshit with pizza parties. Nah, this dude is getting things out of us. He's critical. He wants to have a good relationship with us so he can be brutally honest. That's the thing. He wants to be like, I'm your friend. I can talk to you. I care about you. I want to know about your parents. I want to know about your kids. I want to know about your girlfriend. But I'm also going to be very honest with you. I'm say, look, you didn't do good on that defensive play. That's the thing. He has to have that baseline friendship with the players so they trust him, so that they understand he has their best intention. Then when you have the trust of the players that, oh, my coach has my best intentions, he's going to try and make me get to a positive place and grow. It's not that he's out to get me. It's not that he's an asshole. Then you have more of a license and allowance to be critical of them. And to come to them with the energy is like, you know what, you lost your defensive assignment on that last play. And you know what, I want you to do better. You know, you can do that when, you know, that's the thing. I think people are misreading about Darko. They think he's just such a player's coach. He's so nice. He's so positive towards them, but they don't understand. He's critiquing them. He's hard on them. He's pointing out all their flaws and mistakes, and they're listening because they trust him and they like him as a person. So that's a really tough balance to have. You know, that's a really tough balance to have, because a coach can get tuned out real quick by a player who's like, fuck him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I know what I'm doing. I'm good. No, that's the tight wire that an NBA coach walks. And listen, if Darko can walk that tight wire and tell these guys what they should be doing better and do it with a smile, that's a good coach. That's a good coach right there. Yeah. David's saying, yeah, but he was too smart for them. I think it was Rose. That guy's a troll. Aaron Rose, fuck you. I'll just say that right now. Fiercely saying Jakob has amazing footwork. He really does. He does. David's saying, I'm honestly amazed by Yak in 2024, the GROAT. You know, honestly, people, you know, the maligned, the Jakob Teal are so stupid. And more every time he takes the court, they get shown just how dumb they are with maligning and thinking that trade was a dumb move by our front office. Oh, so stupid. So stupid. Fiercely saying, I show it to my daughter. It's his fundamentals are top notch. Look at that. Coach Fiercey uses the tape of the Raptors to teach Fiercey Salcera Jr. how to play basketball better. I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Yeah, use that Jakob tape for footwork. I love it. Cowboy saying, let's go, Chef Darko. That's right. And David's got the cowboy in effect. And Jill's here. Good morning, Jill. Jillian in the house, David is saying. Yeah, and Kareem's here. Can't win them all, but 26-1 is still on the table. There you go. 26-1, Kareem. Not bad still. Not bad. And Jill's saying hi to everybody. Fiercely saying, Alvin said it was mental for RJ, the fact he misses the free throws. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. It means he's not dialing in and concentrating and taking them serious enough. That's what they mean when they say mental. It means you got to like really pay attention. Maybe he's distracted. Maybe he's thinking about too many other things at that time and not the free throw right at hand. That's the mental right there. Yeah. Hi, Fiercey. Okay. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, David, Abaji is an NCAA college champion, comfy with social media scrutiny and well poised, intelligent. Those types of players are not phased, just part of their normal life. Intelligent. Yeah. No, Abachi seems like a very knowledgeable, well-adjusted, raised up young man, and yeah, yeah. I just want to see consistency on the court. I love great character. I love nice guys. I love good people to be on our team. But in some ways, we want the results on the court, and that's what I want to see. Yeah, Fiercey saying Scotty took the ball from Luka's hands. Give me that. That was an awesome play. In some ways, that was a play that was put on NBA social media accounts and people saw it and it opened eyes. Seriously, there's literally Scotty wrenching the ball out of Luka's hands, running it back and dunking it in traffic. And people saw this and they're like, "Oh shit, maybe he is the face of the league." Seriously, there's some critics of Scotty that saw that steal on Luka last night and they're like, "Wait a second, maybe we are missing something about Scotty that is something really, really important and amazing, and his prominence of what he has for the future of the NBA." That's part of what that clip shows. And some not Raptors fans, but NBA fans are waking up to. That's a canary in the coal mine. Oh, Scotty may be better than we are thinking he is. Because look at how he just stripped the ball from Luka and ran it back and dunked it on them. That's right. Good morning to Jill from Cowboy. David saying, honestly, don't even get me going about Alvin and Matt lately. Absolutely atrocious home court of commentators. I'm completely in disagreement with David. These guys are on fire. Oh my gosh. Alvin, with him and his insight of being a former Raptor and the things that he talks about, so awesome. I mean, he used the term cherry picking yesterday. He said Alvin said that Luka's out there cherry picking. That's an old term we used to use. I don't know how many young people don't know the term cherry picking, but that's interesting. So some of these terms like garbage time and cherry picking, are they antiquated? Are they not terms we're using anymore in basketball? Is this why a lot of people don't know them? I'm like, I wouldn't have known cherry picking forever. But Alvin feels like he needs to say, this is a term we used to use. Oh, crap, I'm getting old. They got to tell people cherry picking is like hanging out and not coming back on defense to get an easy offensive score. That Luka cherry picked at one point in the game, and that's what Alvin called out. Oh, that's weird. He's educating. David, stop being a hater. And love our guy, number 20 behind me, second to none, A-Dub, Boogie Williams. That's our dude, man. That's one of the greatest Raptors ever in my book, at least. Yeah, yeah. Roger Raymond's back. Good to see Roger. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Great show following up on the Luka 25th birthday banquet Raptor Killer extravaganza. Yeah, wasn't that funny, Roger? I mean, it just seemed like that. I was like, oh, hell, here's PJ Washington. Oh, man, not Tim Hardaway Jr. This is just like memory lane of guys who just love killing us. Or, yeah, in passing, Raptors also played last night. Yeah. No, I wanted to give them their credit. I think too often, sometimes teams get so self-centered about their place and things. Well, no, last night in some ways is talking about the excellence of the Mavericks and not necessarily the failure of the Raptors as what is important about the game last night. And that's why I very much wanted to give credit to Luka and the rest of them for the team effort and the team balance of the Mavericks last night. You know, if Dallas fans come here to watch my reaction to this game, well, I want to give it the right way. I seriously do. And credit to them for getting a good effort from their two superstars and their bench and the team overall. So, yeah, that's a big part of it right there. Good to see you, Roger. David saying Matty D used to be good until he started working with Alvin. Now he just sounds like a giggling schoolgirl saying stupid shit constantly. Well, geez, David, who took the fun sandwich you had and replaced it with a shit sandwich? Why are you eating that sandwich, bro? Nah, come on. This is perspective. You're being a hater, and in some ways your negative mindset is mean. No, listen, Alvin's not dragging Matt down. Matt's bringing Alvin up, and Alvin's doing fantastic. Once again, you've hated on Alvin for 2 years now. You've never liked Alvin Williams. You didn't like him from the start, and you are a known, notorious Alvin Williams hater on broadcast. I hate this, honestly. In some ways, David, I've tried to talk to you about this. You need to honor Alvin Williams in his history of the Raptors. You need to understand that this isn't just a jabroni off the street. This is Alvin Williams. Maybe one of the greatest Raptors, one of the most loved Raptors in the history of the Raptors. In some ways, when we had a team that had Vince and Alvin on it, there were people like me that were like, yeah, I love Alvin more than I love Vince. Because in some ways, Vince, everybody loves Vince, but you know what? He's overshadowing the contribution and the clutchness and the really good things that Alvin Williams does as our point guard. And I was always an Alvin guy. So in some ways, it disappoints me that you do not honor or give any kind of like credit or anything to a guy who hit game-winning shots for us in our very first playoff wins. Like Alvin Williams literally won us our first playoff game ever in the history of the Raptors history. And some ways you should honor him for that. The fact that this man, like he said, like Dennis Schroeder said, Kevin Ollie got out there blood, sweat, and tears. He understands the game. I like that as a coach. When sometimes I like that as an announcer. I like an announcer who's out there and done it and been out there in high stakes games like the playoff series with Philadelphia and Allen Iverson and Vince Carter. You know, come on. You're missing the point of having Alvin on the broadcast. He's an alumni. He's a very storied history with the Raptors. He's a real one who never turned his back on us. In fact, he turned his back on Philadelphia for us. David, that should make you love him just for that. That he is his home city has said, no, fuck you. You went to Toronto and we don't have you no more. He's more with us in Toronto. He turned his back on Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And in some ways, he can't go home like he could because of his allegiance to us. David, you need to respect Alvin Williams better. That is egregiously bad what you're saying there. That's insulting, and it's a misrepresentation. Alvin's gotten better and better every year since he's been doing it. I enjoy his witticisms. I enjoy his stories about the old days, playing with Gary Trent Sr. and all the rest of them. What are you missing the boat on this? David, did you watch the Raptors around 2000? 2001, because the disrespect you have for Alvin Williams is bogus. It's fucked up. And honestly, I won't stand for it. You're going to try and say that he's making Matt Devlin worse? What the hell is this, David? In person, we're going to have to talk about this some more. Because seriously, you're not respecting why his jersey's actually on my wall behind me. He must be some sort of important if he's front and center on our wall of jerseys right here between Muggsy and JYD. He must be somewhat important, David. Come on now. Come on, man. And I love Matt giggling like a schoolgirl. Let's make it fun. You're going to get mad at Alvin and the unprofessionalist of them eating jerk chicken during the game the other day. That was Jack Armstrong. That wasn't Alvin Williams. You're going to get mad at Alvin Williams. Oh, my gosh. And they're eating food for a whole segment. You could get mad at that. I'd get more mad at that. Like, you're not being professional. You're not calling the game. You're busy stuffing your mouth. I'd much rather Matt Devlin giggle like a schoolgirl than stuff his mouth full of food with Jack Armstrong. Anyway, all right, I'm going to move on. David, be nice to Alvin. That's all I got to say. Cool Cat saying, Lex, three-point shooting always suffers based on the amount of workload a player has to do. Pascal was up and down. Scotty will be up and down. Roster balance is required to reduce pressure. No, I think you're right. I think that you're right. And this is another way of describing it. I'm just saying, in some ways, I don't care if Scotty makes threes all the time. In some ways, that's not important to me. Some people that may be important to. In some ways, it's a good thing. It helps. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't want him to. But in some ways, I don't care. I'd rather him go inside. I'd rather him put a player on his back and turn around and post them and make those shots. In some ways, those are way higher percent shots and better shots for him to work on right now and get better and better at. In some ways, he needs to go in there and get in the fire and have trial and error and failing in success in those shots down low. So in some ways, selling for a three right now isn't the right thing for him. So I don't mind this. He will have that in his arsenal. He will always have to have the threat of being able to make a three. But in some ways, if he takes way more shots inside the key near the basket, I'll be way more happy. Way, way more happy right now. Yeah. Kareem saying, give me that piece of cake. Another great call, but nothing is better than he took off in Montreal and landed in Toronto. Yeah, there's a lot of good calls. David is being mean today. Jill saying, I regularly tweet the Raptors about the commentators. Sometimes I tweet the commentators about their negativity too. Mostly, though, I turn them off. See, I don't think there's a problem with our commentators. I really don't. I think Matt Devlin, Alvin Williams, and Jack Armstrong are 10 out of 10. And we really are spoiled. If y'all went and listened to other commentators, you realize just how good our guys are. Seriously. So I don't understand this. Like, why are we critiquing our announce crew today? Jill, if you're writing them comment cards like you do to me, oh my gosh. Telling them everything they did wrong and this. Oh my gosh. Sometimes Jill will write me a comment and she'll have like a 10 list of like this and this and this she has to tell me or correct me on. Oh, okay. If you're doing that for the announce crew, maybe they're up their game. Like you've helped me, I guess, in doing that too. Trevor's saying no Lakers beat them on shooting. Okay, well, I want to see. I want to find out. There may be subtle manipulations y'all didn't catch. Cool Cat's saying I wanted Raptors to use the Pacers strategy they used to beat the Mavs. Play very fast to tire out the team, especially Luka. The effect, though, the Pacers were too tired to keep up with the Raptors' pace. Yeah, I wish we could have tired out the Mavericks last night, but the pace was up anyway. It was just a high-scoring game no matter what, and they actually revel in it. They actually do really well. I don't know if we could have done that, like that, tire them out, because they were running really well in some ways. I don't know. Tiring them out after the game, I mean, even though the game against the Cavs was close and they lost the last second, I don't know if, like, I don't know. I don't know what the strategy was right. I would say slow down the game and try and go to crawl, but maybe we're not that kind of team anymore because we're more of an offensive team now. All right, Mobester's got the 10 a.m. We're at 11:11. There's a good luck wish. Let's see. Chris is saying album was bad. Now he's okay. Still, he never really will be a great color man. Fuck you guys, man. Fuck both of y'all for this, Chris and David. We don't turn on great Raptors like this. I'm very disappointed in both you guys. As in his own words, maybe I'm a hater. Much better player. Luka's the third best player in the NBA. Not lazy. Laugh out loud. I'm going to disagree with you. These are opinions once again. So I'm going to disagree with all of your opinion on here, Chris. And I'm really disappointed that you guys are saying this stuff about Alvin. Alvin's doing a great job. I'll disagree with you guys. You can have your own decisions and likes and dislikes, flavors of ice cream, whatever. But on this channel, I endorse Alvin Williams as a great commentator. He's fucking fantastic. And yeah, I'll say he's lazy. Luka is lazy. That's just the damn truth. You're saying he's not lazy. Well, you can be a Luka stan for him. But I'm the kind of person who'll say, you know what? You could be better. You could be better. He could be better. Other people say, no, he's not better. See, even Alvin's agreeing with you guys, but you hate Alvin so much. You say, no, Luka can't get better. Well, I think he could. I think he could. And I don't think he's the third best player. I said that yesterday. I don't think he's in the top 5. I think Luka has to be more of a two-way player to be in the top 5. And this today's NBA, you got to be a two-way player to be in the top 5 in this league. A player like Kawhi, a player like Scotty, a player like Giannis, a guy who plays both ends. And in some ways, Luka doesn't do that. I can get 5 better players than them because they play both ends. And that's what I'll say. I'll stand on that. I stand on that opinion. I'll stand on it again today. Boy, I really disagree with Chris on this one. You're saying Alvin was bad. Okay, now he's okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not agreeing with you guys, but he'll never be a great color man. Fuck you, Chris, for that. Fuck you for that. Telling Alvin Williams that he'll never be a great color man. That's my guy. I love Alvin, and I'll stand with him against you guys. And I'm really disappointed in you guys. Seriously. What is this about criticizing our broadcast crew? This is not an area that needs to be criticized. Go criticize Grange. Go criticize other people around our media, but the broadcast crew is not one of the issues. Seriously. Blackhawks saying there wasn't much defense last night. Raptors started to miss their shots in the third. Live with it because it was either them or us, as eventually it was going to happen. Yeah, I'll agree with this. I mean, we hung with them for two quarters and halfway through the third, and then they separated. We couldn't keep up that pace. And Neil's right. The defense was not as much there for either team. It was very much an offensive game. Jill saying Alvin is a tiny bit better than he was, but Matt and Jack continue. I still turn them off after halftime. You see, this isn't, I don't know. I don't understand why everybody's so negative about our announce crew. Seriously, there's nothing wrong with them. You guys turn them off. That's fine. Whatever. I enjoy them. In fact, I seek them out over anybody else. If there's Bally and the other team, I'm not watching that. If it's NBA people, I'm not watching that. I'm watching our announce crew because they do it right. G saying Joker and Luka are not athletic compared to other NBA players' standards. However, they are extremely intelligent and talented. This will probably give them longevity. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's totally true. I mean, I could see it both ways, G. You know, in some ways, you take care of your body, you can keep it longer. In some ways, you got to work on it. I mean, the fact that Thad Young, LeBron James, the length of time they've had in their careers, will Luka and Nikola get those kind of careers? I don't know if they will because they didn't work on their bodies the whole year. So I could argue that this may not give them longevity. This may actually give them earlier career exits because they didn't work out and they didn't take care of themselves like they could. They're definitely extremely intelligent and they're definitely extremely talented. I will give that. That's why I'm saying It's like, all right, we look at Vince Carter and say he had all the athletic gifts, but he didn't have the drive of Michael. That's what he was lacking. Well, we can look at Luka and say he has all the talent and he has all of the intelligence, but he's not utilizing his body to its fullest potential. I think that's actually very true. And people can argue with me about this. I'm just saying, if he did try, what would happen? And could he be at another level if he actually did try and lift weights and get some muscles and be a little bit stronger? I mean, there's no telling. Maybe we'll never know. And that'll just have to be that way. Maybe it's just okay. We don't need that overpowering Luka muscle man in our league messing it up. Well, thank God he's not that way. Maybe that's the way it should be. Yeah. Yeah. Fishy saying David laughing at the giggling schoolgirl comment. That's definitely when Jack Armstrong said Ron Jeremy was the giggling schoolgirl comment. And that was one of the best moments in Raptors broadcast ever. How can you hate that? How can you hate the joy and Matt Devlin's laughing because his friend made it such a funny joke? His joy is my joy. Y'all are killjoys, is what it sounds like to me. You don't like hearing Matt Devlin giggling and having a good time? Well, you're killjoys. Let our announce crew have fun. They're a little loose. They're eating jerk chicken. Let them do their thing. Why are we talking about them? I'm actually shocked that y'all got this into this way. This is the last thing I would have thought. We're going to be criticizing our broadcast crew. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Let's see. Name is saying, oh, he was a bad man. Joker? I don't know. Jill saying, I have a photo with Jamal McGlure. It's not McG. It's an MAGLOIRE. If you're going to correct me, I'm going to correct you, Jill. I come up to his chest, laugh out loud. His handler was so helpful. PR people rock. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I've seen him on Danforth just shopping on the sidewalk. I walk by him. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a real Toronto guy too. Cowboy saying, that's crazy, David. That's crazy. 10-10, make a wish. Let's see. AD being on the top 75 list is an abomination to the game of basketball. I'll agree with David on this one. There you go. We're back on it. Cowboy saying, where did the Raptors end up going to eat? Anyone? They didn't go yet. They're going tonight. They're going today after practice. Yeah, they're going after practice tonight. They're not getting their dinner till tonight, and it'll be a very nice restaurant. I'm pretty sure it'll be absolutely a very, 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 very nice restaurant, y'all. So, all right, let me see. It jumped. Let me get back to where I was. And yeah, we definitely don't want any more comments. I can go till about noon. It's all good. It is all good. All right, let me see. Where are we? Wow, you guys really fill it up. I love it. Okay, here's Cowboy. All right, here we go. Nameless is saying, let's not get it twisted. Kyrie is a bona fide talent, equally impressive as Luka in his own way. Yeah. In some ways, I'm more impressed with Kyrie than Luka because I can see the work put in with Kyrie. Luka, in some ways, everything comes easy to him. I'm serious. Everything comes easy to him. That's part of it. David's saying this was more of a renovation than a rebuild. I agree with that. Jill's saying Kyrie was punished for anti-Semitic comments, then removed his apology after he was forgiven. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing was messed up. But also in some ways, I didn't like the way they made him jump hoops for that. It's a similar kind of thing to the Draymond thing this year. They're like, oh, you're out until you get counseling, and then you do this, you do this, and you do this. Yeah. I that whole thing, I don't necessarily agree with Kyrie promoting that book on Amazon, but I do agree in freedom. I do agree in equal rights, and I do agree in people being able to express themselves freely. And in some ways, that's not what happened. And in some ways, the NBA is fascist for the way they punished Kyrie for that. Even if what he was presenting was a questionable book with questionable material, where's it stop? Where's it, like, the control of the league? That's what I wonder about right there. David saying, we understand he thinks the world is flat and shit. We don't care about that. When it comes to basketball, the guy's absolute stud. That's right. That is exactly right. Dinner is tonight. Cowboy saying, also check out Keyshawn George, Lex, and Freaks for a second-round pick. I'm still going for Aaron Bradshaw for sure. Cowboy, you only get one a day. I'm not going to do 2 scouts a day. I don't want to do a whole bunch of that. I'll do 1 a day. So just so you know, we can bring that guy up again maybe tomorrow, and I'll do it tomorrow. But I don't want to keep doing scouts. I don't want to get overdone and done with so much. We'll just do it as a one little segment for one player each time. Let's see. Cowboys saying, okay, darling, thanks. Also, signing Skip Lee this offseason is a must pay the young man. Yeah, we're going to keep Emmanuel. He's going to be around. Jill's saying a butterball turkey, Luka. Yeah, in some ways he is. He's like a cannoli. Blackhawks saying, give Luka a break. He has been playing against grown men since he was 15. Luka has a lot of mileage on his body, so he's moving at a pace he can manage. This is somewhat true, Neil. I can see this. That's why he said he feels like he's 40 yesterday. He said, yeah, I turned 25, but I feel like I'm 40. That's what he said. Well, he's been playing 40-year-olds this whole time. Y'all can be Luka stans and love him and all this kind of stuff. In some ways, I don't look at him the same way as everybody. I think he's impressive. I think he's cool, but in some ways I'm not putting him on that pedestal like a lot of people are. In some ways, he has to accomplish some things, and it's team goals. It's not necessarily individual goals. Then I'll respect him more. Like I respect Jokic a lot more than him. And you know why? You know why? Exactly why. I respect Nikola Jokic way more than I respect Luka Doncic. Yeah, there's one reason why. Larry. That's exactly why. Yeah, alley-oop to Jill. All right, we can give an alley-oop to Jillian. Let's see. Where's Jill on the list? We'll give an alley-oop to Jillian. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. Chris is saying, who else into the karma coming to Nick Nurse? He ditches us, and now the basketball gods have spoken. Nick Nurse is done. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't even like bringing up that word because it goes every which way. In some ways, we don't want to talk about it or wield it or say this or that. Just let it happen naturally. Just let it happen. In some ways, I don't even want to use that word anymore. I don't use that word or the C word or the T word. There's a couple words I'm not using in my vocabulary anymore. And that's one of them. I don't even want to mess with that word and talking about it or saying this. I'm not in charge of doling it out. I don't know who gets it for what. In some ways, you can look at a situation from your perspective and say, yeah, this is karma, should be coming to someone. But that's not always the universal perspective from the top of the world and everywhere and what is happening in karmic forces. So I don't know. In some ways, I don't even want to mess with this. I just want good things to happen for me, and hopefully good things happen for y'all, and good things happen for the Raptors. And honestly, let's not worry about anybody else. Nick's got his own bed to lie in at this point. And I don't even want to get into the whole idea of karma. No, I don't. No, I don't. In some ways, that's a dangerous game if you really think about it. And yeah, Nick's going to do what Nick's going to do. He made the choices. He's where he's supposed to be. That's what he said. Carlos saying good morning. Good morning to you, Carlo. Carlo going to the game last night also. Taking pictures at the game. Very cool to see the pictures at the game, Carlo, on Facebook. Yeah, I hope you had a very good time last night. David saying, not mad about it. Not mad at all, my man. Yeah, retire number 15. See, Blackhawks very much for Vince getting his jersey retired. I disagree with him. I disagree with him. David saying, are you suggesting we retire Carter's number? And he's saying, yeah. The only reason why I don't is because it's for a career. You retire a jersey for a career. And most of the 20-plus years that Vince played were not in Toronto. And in some ways, the way he left is very fucked up. And no. I think that Alvin even said it in the interview this week that you give him a statue. They were saying statue. They weren't even talking about jersey. In some ways, the language has changed around Vince to the statue. It's almost like they're hearing me and they're saying that makes more sense. Let's celebrate a moment. And in some ways, the statue is bigger than the jersey. A statue commemorates a moment. And in some ways, Vince Carter had great Raptor moments, not totally a great Raptor career. Does that make sense? You celebrate a guy for a great career on your team, like accolades, getting a championship, getting a G League championship, getting a most improved player, getting an all-star, being a franchise leader in categories like points or assists, or getting the franchise best scoring ever in a game. Those are the things that get you a jersey up in the rafters. It's a career of work. And in some ways, Vince had individual accolades of the dunk contest, a rookie of the year, some all-star games. But in some ways, he didn't get any team accomplishments for the Raptors other than, getting them to the playoffs and doing a couple things there. That's what I would argue. It's a career accomplishment. It's a career. It's a time served. It's a whole bunch of things. It's not just what you did on the team. It's how you left the team too. It's whether your fans want to actually celebrate you too. That's part of it. And if a certain percentage of the Raptors fans base does not want to celebrate Vince in this kind of way, it's the wrong move. It's the wrong move. I think if universally most people will say, yeah, Kyle Lowry should get his jersey retired. I think universally most people will say Pascal Siakam should get his jersey retired on the Raptors. but it's not universal for Vince. And that's why I say you celebrate the moment of the dunk championship. Celebrate one of his dunks and put it out there and make it so beautiful. And I'll put a plaque on there said Air Canada effect, Air Canada effect, and write about how Vince Carter changed the sport of basketball in Canada as a country on that plaque. That is the way you honor him. That is the way you honor him. Retiring his number is too much. And it's not the right way to give him an accolade. It's not the right way. It really isn't. It really isn't, at least to me, with my logic of it. Chris is saying, and Lex, Jokic is the best big that ever play, maybe. Yet the body shaming, why? This guy's in shape enough to beat Anthony Davis. And why beg Grady not to be Jokic? Laugh out loud. Grady is not an Eastern European body. All right. You guys are obviously, we're not on the same page. Part of what I'm saying about Nikola and Luka is jokes. In some ways, it's jokes. It's not totally serious. In some ways, y'all really love them, obviously, because y'all are really standing for them today. I get it. I respect Nikola. I think Nikola's a champion. I think Nikola's the best player in the league, but I don't think he's the greatest big man ever. No, I don't. No, I don't. Because partly, in some ways, it's like, look, he's doing certain things with passing and this, but I still think, once again, the knock I have on Luka Doncic, I could say about Nikola Jokic too. There's other places he could be even better. He could be a better player than he is right now. He could. And it's not body shaming. These guys just have looks to them. In some ways, they don't have any muscle definition. In some ways, everybody else in this league is on high nutritional diets. They're really taking care of their bodies. They're really thinking about everything like that. And in some ways, these guys aren't doing that. I can tell. And in some ways, that is anti-professional, is what I would say right now. I think that if you're in a sport, you're an athlete, you can say, oh, this and this and this. There's such high level stuff for sports nowadays, as far as dietitians, supplements, weight training programs. The fact that these guys don't look like they lift weights is insulting to a degree. It is insulting to a degree. So I can be counterbalance to this. I can play devil's advocate. You guys love these guys and you're standing for them. In some ways, I'm being like, I don't have any feelings for them either way. I don't hate them and I don't like really love them either. I'm just saying, like, matter of fact things. They have bodies that could be improved. And that's just the damn truth. I think that anybody in the NBA could agree with me about Jokic and Doncic. That both of them, you can say, oh, they're just Eastern European bodies. I don't give a shit. I'm from Eastern Europe. I can fix my body and make it more muscle bound. You know, that's a stereotype in itself. You say, oh, just because they're from Eastern Europe, they can have fat, roly-poly bodies? No, Arnold Schwarzenegger. All kinds of other people from Eastern Europe that lifted weights and put weights on their and muscles on their body. So, yeah, no, this is not an excuse. And, yeah, I don't want Grady to be like Nikola. I want him to lift the weights. Yeah, it was like I don't think Grady will ever be like Jokic overall. So how am I supposed to say, yeah, be like Jokic? Be exactly like him? That's not likely. So I would like him to lift the weights, unlike Nikola Jokic. Yeah, because Grady, it will really help because he's going to need that strength more and more as he gets older. So, yeah, you guys are funny. Y'all love Luka and Nikola, and any of me talking bad about them, oh, God forbid, Lex talk shit about them and their unathletic bodies. Oh, God forbid, Lex did that. Oh, my gosh. That's just, it's difference in opinion. I do really respect the guys. I think they're amazing players. They're top-level players in this league. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league, but I won't go as far as say he's the best big ever. No, you can't do that. In some ways, it's different eras, and that's part of it. Carlos saying, man, last night, it's like you were playing with the Wizards when you're playing Kyrie and Luka. David, bam, 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 bam. You mean we're playing like they're wizards? Like they know how to do magic? I don't know. It's really crazy. David's saying, wow. And Chris, Cowboy's saying that true, MSJ. How was the game, Carlo? Hope you had a good time at the game, even though we lost. Yeah, I think they had a good time. Jill's talking about Joel Embiid getting that K word. Fiercely saying Dennis will come back. Just wait for it. Yeah. And everybody will be like, wait a second. I thought Dennis didn't get along with everybody. No, he did. Go look at his Instagram story and said everything he dreamed of is in this picture. What's the team in that picture? It's not Brooklyn Nets. And he could have put any team, the shirt, the picture there. Yeah. Why is Junior wearing the Raptors shirt still? That's what I'm saying right there. G saying, check out Nav Superfan's Instagram. Cool motivational speech. All right, maybe I'll go look at that. Let me continue with the Instagram stories because I didn't continue with them. We got Grady Dick. He's got a picture of him and RJ Barrett on his Instagram right now. Pascal's got all of his highlights from Indiana and the win against New Orleans last night. RJ Barrett's got a clip of him getting the drop off from IQ and going right at Luka and making that crazy shot where he spun. That highlight was put all over the place on NBA Spaces too. We see Monique with there's this father and daughter that were at the game, and they were on the jumbotron too. And I see Monique got a picture with them too. That's really cool. Jordan Wara got a pictures taken of him by a friend at courtside. That's pretty interesting. It's some warm up. And let me see, is there anything else? Mr. New York City, some highlights of him dribbling. It was interesting that Marquise was at the Raptors game last night, back from the West Coast road trip, even though the rest of them are still on the road in Windy City for tonight. In fact, let's talk about that real quick. Windy City Bulls versus Raptors 9:05 tonight. Julian McFadden is the crew chief, number 52. Bobby Bissant, the third, number 58, is the referee. I've never heard that ref name. And Amara Paramalo, number 70, is the umpire. So there's your ref crew for tonight's G League game. Windy City Bulls. I'm not sure when tip-off is. It's probably right around 9 o'clock. Yeah, that's pretty much the Instagram stories. I don't think there's anybody else. I guess I could have looked up whatchamacallit, Nav. Maybe I will go look at Nav real quick. Let me just see, because you guys are saying Nav is doing interesting things with his Instagram and his book coming out, because he has his book, his Story of the Superfan book. Yeah, I don't know. I see him on the top sellers. I know I saw that inspirational speech that he made. I talked about it the other day. I brought it up, what he said about being consistent and keep trying and get through. You'll break through and you'll get through to success. Most saying the way IQ shoots, you think it's going in every time. Yeah, he's got really good fundamentals. And it's really good. Jill saying Dennis and Pascal could both come back. I don't know if it's likely if Siakam comes back at least anytime soon, but down the road, maybe like near the end of his career. Blackhawk saying Vince's journey is a part of basketball history in this country, good, bad, or indifferent. I agree with this. That's why I say give him a statue. I think a statue means more in some ways. It's more out there. It's more in it. It's more right in your face. Put it right in the middle of Jurassic Park. Put it over near there, or put it on the other side on Bay Street, over in the little area where they scalp tickets on the other side near the VIP entrance to go upstairs. Put it over there. One of those two spots. It should be. There should be a Vince statue in one of those two spots, MLSE. Hell, put it in the entryway inside. I don't know. It should be outside. It probably should be outside. It shouldn't be on the pathway between Union Station and the Air Canada Center. It should be either on the Bay Street side or in Jurassic Park. Yeah, it should be in one of those two places. Let's see. Carlos saying we had a very good time. 300 seats are awesome. My 2-year-old had so much fun. That's the good stuff. Family stuff, dad stuff, taking your kid to the game and just having memories and a blast. That's awesome, Carlo. I'm so happy about that. David saying, I guess, honestly, I don't even know how I feel about Vince Carter. Well, there's definitely a PR campaign to try and smooth things over with people like us and try and make us more appealing to like Vince possibly getting either his jersey retired or some sort of honor with us. So I think we should. In some ways, it's like funny that they're doing it now, but I guess he was playing before and he didn't care. And in some reasons, he has reasons for it now, because in some ways he wants to come around and get all of his accolades in his post career as in retirement. That in some ways he has to fix things with the Raptors nation. And he's trying in some ways. I think that was very, very calculated when he said, if I go in the Hall of Fame this year, I want to go in as a Raptor. And in some ways, he's saying that to butter people like me up, to make it more like palatable that we honor Vince as a franchise at some point. I mean, this is important. This is important. Like I said, watch that interview with Alvin, see how he talks about the Vince situation, and know that he does not just 100% support Vince in this. That there are parts of him that can see why we're upset with him, and he was upset with them too at that time. You can tell. You can tell. In some ways, he was disappointed by Vince Carter and the things that happened near the end of his Raptors career. So if Alvin himself was disappointed in Vince as a teammate and a very good friend of his, that says something. In some ways, he was disappointed with the outcome. He knows it wasn't totally Vince's fault. He knows it's not totally the Raptors' fault either. It's just the situation was bad in some ways. Let's see. Kareem's saying, I'm going to need the Raptors to put its over statue and retire Vince's number. We really have to look on the impact he's done for basketball and not how he left. Glenn Grunwald needs to take lots of blame too. Once again, you're wrong. It's Rob Babcock. It's not Glenn Grunwald. You got to get the right GM, first of all, is Rob Babcock. And people keep getting confused that Glenn Grunwald's a bad GM for the Raptors. He was not. It was Rob Babcock. So I got to correct you on that. And yeah, the impact he's had on our country deserves a statue. A statue is a big deal. A statue is what you give Kobe. A statue is what you give Michael Jordan. In some ways, you guys can't be happy with just a statue. I'm saying? Let's give him a statue. That's a big fucking honor. That's better than a jersey in some ways. In some ways, the jerseys need to go to real ones that stuck with us and were real to us the whole time. In some ways, I would argue that 20 behind me needs to be retired before the 15 because he's a real one. And he's the epitome of the kind of player that should get their jersey retired by the Raptors. Alvin Williams, Morris Peterson, JYD, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. These loyal, real ones are the ones I'm talking about. And Vince is not a real one. He's not a loyal one. And in some ways, that matters if you're a fan base, you're a fan nation. If you have somebody like fucking whatchamacallit for fucking the Leafs that went to the other team, whatchamacallit? What's his name? I always forget his name. But he's the one that everybody hates because he was on our team for a while. And then he went to the Penguins and he won Stanley Cups there. What was his name? I don't even remember his name. I don't care about the Leafs enough. But people hate him now. They hate him. And he used to play for the Leafs. What is his name? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Fiercely saying, Chris, oh, yeah, Nick Nurse is done. He now has to prove his coaching greatness without having Master Flopper on the roster. Well, it flips back both ways. Pendulum. Let's not get too giddy in all this. Let's let things serve and happen the way they're supposed to. And in some ways, don't get all happy and giddy about this because Joel can come back and they win a championship still. So let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. Let's just go day by day, and let's just hope they never win. That's what I would say. Blackhawks saying, no matter what, we benefited from his sweat on the court. That's for sure. Yeah, we did. We benefited. I'll agree with this. And near the end, we didn't, though. We didn't because he wasn't even trying. G saying, I don't like how Vince left, but he's a huge reason Canadian kids started playing ball. So for that reason, I am for retiring his jersey. He inspired Canadians. Yeah. All right. We're going to disagree. People can disagree with me. I'm very much on the record for how I feel about the situation. And I feel like mine's fair. You guys want to have a jersey retirement? Well, I won't totally be behind it, but whatever. It's not up to me. I'm not in control. I'm not the most powerful person in any kind of thing like this. It's MLSE. It's their decision. In some ways, they'll listen to people like me and take it into context. But ultimately, it's their decision. We'll have to see. I think the statue gets across the point better. A jersey's up in the rafters away and doesn't really look at it. You put it out there, you put a plaque on it, boom, you give the lesson. You give the story of what you're saying right here, of why Canadian kids picked up that basketball. There, you go ahead. That's the way you do it. You put the jersey up there, it's useless. In some ways, it's like, what? You don't want anybody to wear 15 for the rest of their career in Toronto? Well, too late. Amir Johnson's worn it. Amir Johnson wore 15 already. Carlos saying, I'm not so sure with Vince. His exit is so bad on a different proportion that held back the franchise quite a few years. See, Carlo understands me. He's not so sure about this, and I'm not either. The glaring difference in his stats when he left Toronto and went to Brooklyn is disgusting. And it just is, it paints exactly why people should be disgusted with him. Because he was not trying. He was not trying, and then he admitted it. He admitted it. That's the worst. Jill's saying, same, Dave, in reference to Vince. He's tried to make amends, but I'm still meh. See, I think Carlo, David, Jill, and I are kind of in the same place. We're like meh with him. In some ways, it's age that has to do with this. I think younger people are more willing to forgive Vince because they didn't really live through that period. It's like Vivid Jacob and Will Lou said in that interview with Alvin, we were not old enough to really understand what happened with Vince at that time. We were just kids and kind of dumb. And well, the adults in the room that were adults at that time, well, we can tell you how it went a little bit better. Youngsters, Vivek, Jacob, and William Liu, because we were fully adults at that time happened. And in some ways, it hit us maybe a little bit different than some of the kids. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all kids were really tore up and upset, like you found out Santa wasn't real. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you were older at that time, around 2005, 2006, and you can remember it in adult head space, you may not idealize him as much as some of the children that idealized him when they were kids. Like, ask yourself, how old were you in 2001? How old were you? If you were like 25, like I was, maybe you understand it a little better than if you were 7 or you were 9 or 10. You may have processed the Vince stuff a little bit different than me because of your age at the time and idealism and being a child. And in some ways, I was an adult. I was working at the Air Canada Center. I was in the building. I was there. I felt all the vibes. I saw the celebrations. I saw the crowds. I saw Vinsanity right up close. I was in the building with it. I was at all those games. I was really a big, huge fan of his. And then when he stabbed us in the back, it really meant a lot. It hurt bad. And that's what Alvin said in the interview. He said that's the thing. It's an emotional thing. The country, the fans got connected to him. They liked the way he played, what he was doing for us. We got used to it. And then boom, he just took the fucking rug out from underneath us and went to the Nets, an opposing team, and then started killing us. Yeah, forgive us for feeling betrayed. Forgive us for feeling stabbed in the back. Forgive us for being pissed off at him. Seriously. Alvin said when he came back that first time, it was crazy how bad the fan reception was towards him. It was crazy. He didn't totally agree with it, but he understood why we were so upset and hurt by what happened with his departure. It's a very complicated thing. In some ways, if you weren't there, in some ways, you don't really understand it. If you're a younger fan you're like 20 or younger, if you're a younger person, you cannot totally understand this Vince Carter thing right. You really, really can't. It's really impossible unless you were cognizant and aware in a certain headspace at that time as a Raptor fan. You won't get this. Why some people are so anti-Vince Carter. You just won't get it. It'll go right over your head. You'll just see all the other stuff. You'll see the Eric Carter effect documentary. You'll see the highlights of his dunk competition. You won't really feel the real things that happened at that time. Like David, Jillian, Carlo, and I, we can talk about and feel. So yeah, David's saying, yeah, all right, you guys are right. Retire the fucker's number. No, I'm still dissenting. I'm dissenting on this. But they make valid points. I know, David, but still. And Blackhawk saying, I don't care about his exit. Well, I do. Because once again, he hurt our team. He set us back. As much as he put us forward for the future long term with all the young kids coming up playing basketball, he hurt us in the short term. And he hurt us severely. In some ways, you know what? This is the thing that pisses me off about Vince. He had a year with Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was going to be the next guy. He didn't pass shit to him. It's kind of like he didn't honor the legacy of helping our team in the future. Think about it from this perspective. He was on a team with Chris Bosh his last year. Chris was a rookie. Nothing was passed on to him. Nothing. They didn't care about that. He didn't care about how he left our team. He didn't care about like, look, you're going to be the future for this team. And I'm going to take you under my wing and do this like Lowry did, like DeRozan did, like Pascal did, like Fred did. And you know what happened? Chris Bosh did his career, and he was pretty good. He got the playoffs sometimes. He had losing seasons, winning seasons. He got to play with DeMar in his rookie year. Chris Bosh and DeMar on the same team. Well, did Chris Bosh pass down things to DeMar DeRozan? No, he didn't, because there was no precedent of that yet. Because Vince dropped the ball on passing it to the next generation because he didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to get the fuck out of Toronto. He didn't give a fuck about any of that. So why would Chris Bosh give a shit about passing anything down to DeMar DeRozan as a rookie when he showed up? No, nobody did that. DeMar and Kyle started this shit. They made our team. They made our team and our culture the way it is now. They passed it down to Fred and Pascal, who passed it down to Scotty. And that lineage of passing it down from Raptor to Raptor through different eras is important for culture. And Vince disconnected it. He cut it right off, right at the end. And he left Chris Bosh rudderless, who in turn didn't do jack shit for DeMar when he showed up. There you go. I can bring up more reasons why y'all should be pissed at him, because he in some ways had to honor as a franchise player for our team to give it to the next guy in the right way, and he didn't do that. He dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. David's saying he put Cannon on the map in a sense. I can see that. We'll give him a statue. Give him a statue. Don't retire a jersey. Jerseys go for real ones. Jerseys go for loyal ones. Jerseys go to people that were good for this team inside and out, all the way around, before, during, and after when they were here. That's who the jersey retirement goes for. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. It was Kessel. It was the Leaf where I was talking about earlier. It was Kessel. Phil Kessel. I just remembered. Let's see. Carlos saying, I can see your point too, Blackhawk. Seeing all the retired Leaf jerseys, we need some there too. Well, let's not just try and catch up with the Leafs and get a bunch of jerseys up there. We want them to matter. Then we want it to be prestigious. You can water it down by putting way too many up there, and it doesn't matter. In some ways, I would argue that the Leafs kind of have watered down the prestige of their jerseys because they have so many people retired up there. Some ways, I don't want to do that. I'd rather have just a few, and they're really meaningful. That's why I'm saying we need to have a certain level of excellence, loyalty, and commitment and dedication to the team that people get that jersey retired. Shaq never thought he was going to get his jersey retired by Orlando because he left in a bad way, and he was shocked that that happened. This is the whole reason why Vince thinks he can get his now. Is because he says, oh, well, Orlando will turn around and retire Shaq's jersey after all, even after the bullshit and the way he left, because they feel the same way about him in some ways that we do with Vince. That's a very comparable situation. Some Magic fans hate Shaq. They absolutely hate Shaq for selling out and going to the Lakers. And, you know, some of them won't forgive him. And some of them may not have agreed with retiring Shaq's jersey recently. So, I mean, that's a comparable situation. And that may be why Vince thinks there's a reason why he can get his jersey retired now. It's because Shaq got his retired. So, let's see. Kareem saying, if anyone is on the fence, go look at his highlights on YouTube just as a Raptor. I'm sure the video will inspire you to try and dunk this summer. His mixtape is by far the best in NBA history. Listen, I know Vince Carter is the greatest dunker in the history of the history of the NBA. Unquestionable. Even Dr. J would say that. Vince Carter is the greatest dunker ever, and Dr. J was in contention for that. So, I mean, I'm not dissing him for his accolades and things he does. I'm dissing him for how he treated our team and the relationship he's had with our team for most of the last 20 years. It's very bad. It's very bad. It's not like it was just bad when he left. It was bad while he was playing still. It was bad while he's been broadcasting. And y'all want to conveniently leave out all the bad parts? Well, you go ahead. I'm not. I'm going to keep track still. I am. Anybody could watch Vince Carter's highlight reel and be like, oh, he's amazing. He's amazing. You just show all the beautiful parts of it. That's what I just said. Anybody could watch that shit and you would think, oh, yeah, he needs this and he needs that. That's not the way to look at it, though. And half that shit is like, first of all, flashy. It's not necessarily winning basketball. It's just dunks and exhibition. Let's see. Jill saying it wasn't just Vince's exit. He has tried to make amends. Yeah, he's tried. In some ways, it's not totally the right way, though. There's a way of doing it more sincere. In some ways, I don't know. We talk a lot about Vince these days. It's crazy. Blackhawk saying every player leaves his team in some way or another, but they did contribute to building this team. Vince Carter definitely helped building the Raptors' legacy. He built a legacy, sure. He built a legacy. He did rip down where we were building as a franchise, though. That's the thing I'm looking at. He made it a lot harder for us to win for like 10 years after that. Let's just put it that way. David saying, I've seen his highlights, and I've already conceded that you guys are right. Well, I'm not conceding with him. David, I'm holding out still. You can go ahead. It's a free country. Chris is saying, you can't retire Vince's number. Yes, he won a dunk contest and was exciting, but a team should only retire championship winners. See, I like the argument Chris is making here. I think this is true. Although DeMar is a special case. You get 3 champions. Lowry, Van Vliet, and Siakam for sure. And then DeMar is just because of the sacrifice to get the championship and all the accolades as far as the All-Stars, the long career DeMar had with us, the way he left, honestly, he could have been a total shit towards the Raptors after we traded him, and he didn't. In some ways, that's the opposite of Vince. Like, we really did him bad, but he was still the high road. He still loves us. He still, to this day, loves Toronto. That is the epitome of what I'm talking about. I'm gauging Vince versus DeMar DeRozan. And holy crap, DeMar is like perfect. He's amazing in all kinds of ways when you do that. Seriously. He didn't do anything wrong. We did him wrong. We need to honor him. We need to make it right. That's why I say we retire DeMar DeRozan's jersey because in some ways we don't get that championship without trading him for Kawhi. And in some ways, it's not that you put Kawhi's jersey up there, you put DeMar's up there because he was the ultimate sacrifice to get to that last step. And once again, you don't honor Kawhi for the same reason you don't honor Vince, because it's a moment. It's just a brief one season, a championship dream season with Kawhi Leonard. You can't retire number 2 for one season, even if he's the finals MVP and did one of the craziest seasons a Raptor ever did. You can't, because it's a career accolade. Put in the jersey up there. And what percentage of Vince Carter's career was he in the Raptors? Like a quarter of his career? There's so much more to his career. And in some ways, he celebrated the other parts of his career the whole time more than he did the Raptors part. He turned his back on it. He ignored the dunk championship stuff in some ways. He was around there being a Hawk, being a Magic, being a Net. That's what I'm saying. It's celebrate moments with moments. Celebrate careers up in the rafters. That's what I'm saying right there. David's got it right there. There you go. David's back on with Chris's comment there. 10:30, and I'm at almost 12. Okay. Good job, Milbester, doing the cutoff today. Leatherface. That's right. That's right. Leatherface was the answer to Texas Chainsaw Massacre earlier. All right, let's see. Milbester, just because you made it on time. He's doing the cutoffs. I love it. Blackhawks saying teams retire Hall of Famers, MVPs. Championships is not the main requirement. Organizations find numerous reasons to retire players that haven't won the big one. This is true. Neil's right. And sometimes you give like a role player, a guy who's unsung, just for his dedication. Like think about Udonis Haslem. Haslem does have championships, but in some ways, Haslem's jersey is going to get retired by the Miami Heat at some point, just because of his career with them, his longevity. It's not because he was a superstar. It's not because he was MVP. It's just because he was Mr. Heat for like over 20 years. So, it's true. You can retire people for all kinds of different reasons, but you need to have a good criteria for why. And I'm just saying a moment is not good enough for Vince. In some ways, it's a moment. There's moments with Vince. It's not a whole career with Vince. Sadly, I wish it had been a whole career with Vince. If he had stuck around and played like 10 years for us, like Lowry and DeRozan and Siakam, those guys played way longer for us than Vince did in some ways. I think Vince was here like 6 years, 5 years or something. Maybe you have to be here for like 8 or 9 years to get the jersey retirement, something like that. Siakam, Van Vliet, Lowry, DeRozan, they had good long runs with us. Good long runs with us, untarnished, unblemished runs. No kind of controversy, no kind of bullshit like what Vince had. And that's the difference right there. Chris is saying, Lex, please comment on Bargnani eating bowls of pasta before games. He's lazy-ass player who never did what was needed, or Turkoglu who ate pizza and told his coach to fuck off. I saw the commercials. Well, this is the whole thing, partly why I'm touchy about the pizza party, is because I'm thinking about prima pasta. I'm thinking about Turkoglu and his ball and pizza shit. Yeah, I'm with you on this in some ways. All right, fine. We're really talking about overweight Europeans who don't eat right and play in the NBA. That's what we're talking about. Oh yeah, we played Luka last night. That's why. Carlos saying we need an athletic center to change the pace. Draft one. Okay, I like that. Leatherface. That's right. It was Leatherface. Carlos saying Bruce Brown played bad yesterday and we couldn't recover from his minutes. I think that's true. You saw it in the arena. Cowboys saying Aaron Bradshaw, Carlo JS. He's the next Koloko. Hope you doing well. Koloko could have been. All right. Well, we looked at Bradshaw before. We'll have to see how he does. Carlos saying, laugh out loud. That tackle wasn't a foul. Come on, Milbester. I know he's just being Knicks freak. Of course it was. Yeah, blind homer. Well, I am too. I'm a blind homer for the Raptors, and in some ways, Milbester is that for the Knicks also. Trevor's saying some people's body will never change, lose weight or put on weight. That's the makeup of the human body. I mean, if I'm being insulting or hurtful towards Luka or Nikola, God forbid, I hurt the feelings of these millionaires that don't give a shit about me. I mean, I'm just saying, I get it. In some ways, you guys are right. I shouldn't be talking about people's bodies. But this is the NBA. These are athletes, and they're scrutinized in this way. In some ways, it's like it is part of their job, is their body, is their athletic vessel that they use to do what they do. Forgive me for maybe giving a tip and saying, you know what? And I know I'm not the first one. What if they just lifted weights a little bit? What if they got better? That's all. Maybe I'm trying to be helpful. I'm not trying to diss them. I'm just saying, what if y'all did get a little bit of muscle this offseason? Would that help things? I don't know. I don't know if it would. Maybe it'd make them worse. Maybe they shouldn't be muscle bound. Maybe they would be worse with less fat on them. Milbester saying to me, DiVincenzo collided with him. Yeah, I mean, you can call it whatever you want. Semantics. He kind of like ran right into him. He did a Goldberg spear, is what he did. He said dun 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 dun, dun and he went right into him, like in this midsection. Yeah, he did a spear to him. It's like he's Rhino in the gore. Let's see. Carlos saying, gonna check him out, Cowboy, excited for the draft. Cream saying, I love Yak and his versatility on both offense and defense, but the combination of Gafford and Lively is nasty. What a solid pickup in Gafford for Dallas. We need a nasty big. Hello, Eddie. Hello, Claxton. Hello. I don't know. We've been talking about this. I don't know. We got centers now. I'm really happy we got centers. In some ways, we got what we got. You know, just because we saw some really nice big men for Dallas last night, now we have a wish list all of a sudden again. I don't know. We got Jakob. We got Kelly. We're getting spoiled, guys. In fact, there's a ranking of the best off-ball centers passing, and our two centers are in the top 3 in the whole entire NBA. Kelly Olynyk, number 1, and Jakob Poeltl, number 3 on that list. So that's something good. We have the best off-ball passing centers through 2 of the top 3. David saying, oh, come on. You don't get the sign. You got to guarantee it. I'll be on the highlight reel. All right. Carlos saying, does Eddie have a great motor? He's getting better. He took this extra year at Purdue to really work on his mobility because the knock was that he couldn't get up and down the court, and he lost weight, and he got a lot better motor this year. He looks way better this year for Purdue as far as mobility, and that's good because his draft stock went up because of that. Cowboys saying we should be excited for the draft. We've got land good picks off the Pascal trade. Let's go Raptors. Trust in Messiah. I'm with you on that. 4 minutes till noon, Milbester. Kareem saying, my boy turns 10 today. Happy birthday, Armand. He was born on a leap year, so the 1984 class turns 40. He turns 10. Also, rest in peace, my guy. Drugs and guns needs to be heavily monitored in today's society. It's not everyone. It's not for everyone. Wow, that's a heavy comment, Kareem. Not what I'm totally used to. Your boy's turning 10 today, but he's actually 40. Armand, happy 10th birthday, even though you look like you're a middle-aged man. Yeah, that's funny. I thought you were saying your son's turning 10 today, but you're saying that your buddy from 1984 class is turning 10 because he's a leap baby. I was wondering about that. So does he officially tell everybody he's 10 years old, even though he's a 40-year-old man? Cowboy saying Steady Eddie is great. I just don't think he will fall to us by the time we pick. What are you talking about? We got tons of picks all over the place, Cowboy. We'll have to see where our pick is. And never underestimate trust in Bobby Masai. They're making draft deals today. This year, they're going to make some draft day deals. Watch, Cowboy. So it could be very much in flux, the position of where we're at and what we're trying to do and where we're trying to land with who in the draft. They could make a deal on the day of the draft. There's a lot of things that has been alluded to, that we have flexibility, and it's very much we are predicting that there's going to be some Raptors draft day deals, just so you know. So we could move in the draft that day. We could see that. Fiercely saying alley-oop to Milbester for the multiple time cutoffs today. There you go. Yeah, we can give Milbester an alley-oop for that. Look at that. Look at Milbester. Man, you're awesome, dude. I like you, Milbester, even if you're wrong about your foul on DiVincenzo. Even though you're wrong on that. Let's see. Chris is saying Donovan McClingan. He's huge center who might be a good pick. So there are a few picks in the draft. All right, I might have to look at him next. All right. The rule will be whoever tells me to look at a prospect will get the first one, because I don't want to do a whole bunch of them throughout the show. We'll just do one a day. So if you feel like you got one, you want to get it to me, be the first one on that day, and we'll look at him. Today was Ryan Dunn, and we'll see. Maybe we'll look at Donovan Clingham in the days to come, and other names that Bradley's bringing up too. Jillian saying, happy 1/10 of a century, Kareem Thomas. Cheers. Yeah, happy 1/10 of a century. Yeah, the leap day is so weird. Happy leap day, guys. This is a weird day. Cowboys saying, big up your Papa Dukes. Kareem, let's go, Armand, the bully assassin. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day, champ. There you go. Kareem Thomas saying, my boy Armand was a childhood friend, not my son. Thank you all. The dude was a real one. Oh, I'm sad. So he's gone already, too? He's not around anymore. I hate that. That sucks, Kareem. Yeah, your comment was confusing. We thought he was your son, but I figured it out. that he was actually one of your buddies. Comma Crazy's here. Let's go. Good to see you, Comma Crazy. Who dis? Cowboys saying, my bad, Kareem. You know what I mean. Jill saying, I think the coach is intense. I think our coach is intense. Kareem saying, who's Comma Crazy? I swear, if he's the Sacramento Queens fan, I'm going to lose my shit. No, Comma Crazy's longtime Raptor freak. Just pops in every once in a while. He's the one who always says, no swearing Sundays. Yeah, he's the one who always says, no swearing. No swearing. That's just his thing. Comma Crazy's cool. Comma Crazy's always listening, but doesn't always chime in. Yeah. A longtime Raptor freak. At least 2 years with us, Kareem. You just don't see them very often. Let's see. Cowboys laughing. 11 o'clock. TikTok. It's 12. I'm an hour behind. Let's see. You guys are talking to Kareem Boogie Williams. That's his nickname. Did you know that? Alvin Williams' his nickname is Boogie. Boogie Williams. His teammates on the team, when he played with him, they called him Boogie. That's what Vince Carter called him. Hey, Boogie, come here. What you saying? Hey, A-Dub, Boogie Williams. Second to none. 2-0. Second to none. That's what he says. Boogie Williams. That's right. Carlos saying, I'm more of a Jack fan myself. Jack's great. I think they're all great. Jill saying, I don't hate Alvin. He's listened and gotten much better, Lex. He's just awesome. David's like, I like Leo and Jack together. Leo and Jack don't fit because they do the same job. They're both color commentators. You need a play-by-play. Chuck Swirsky, Matt Devlin. Those are play-by-play people. Leo Routon is not a play-by-play. If you put Leo and Jack on there, nobody's going to call the plays. They're just going to talk. There's going to be like, oh, Jack, how are you doing today? Hey, Leo, how are you doing today, Leo? It's like, I like it when the team catches the ball and puts the ball in the hoop. Oh, yeah, I like that too, Leo. Nobody's calling the play-by-play. It's like Dick with the ball in the corner and taking the shot. No, you need the play-by-play because that's two color. That's two color commentators. That's what that is, David. Milbester saying Warriors Knicks at MSG will be very interesting. Curry will go crazy tonight. Don't say that. Don't predict that for your own team. You want to, Curry's been hit or miss. Steph Curry's had bad games recently. So maybe you get that bad game tonight. I mean, in some ways, is OG back? Can OG help you cut off the water? Because that'll help. If OG's back, he can help you cut the water. Yeah. Let's see. Everybody will be witnessing his greatness. Why do you want that? No, say he's going to suck. Say he's going to be shitty. You say, oh, Steph Curry's going to come and shit the bed. And he's going to go 0 for 10 with a goose egg. That's what happens with us sometimes. I don't predict this with him. I say, oh, the great Steph Curry is going to do this. No, sometimes I'm just like, all right, OG's going to shut him down, and boom. Steph's got 8 points at the end of a game against the Raptors. So, yeah, you can predict this, Milbester. Why do you want him to do that to you? You want to win, right? You want the Knicks to win, right? That's what I'm saying. You don't have to say that. Carlos said, I wonder what will be the commentating situation with Jack and Alvin. Well, once again, this doesn't work. You got to have the play-by-play. Matt Devlin is essential. Matt Devlin is the voice of the Raptors because he is a commentator. Now, you could put me in that crew. I could do the play-by-play. You could put me in the crew with Jack or Alvin Williams. I won't be as good as Matt, but y'all saw me do play-by-play last year for Team Canada games. And you saw that I can do play-by-play. I've done it in the past as part of my broadcasting career. When I was down south, I do play-by-play for games. I didn't just do basketball either. I did softball. I did like TCC women's softball games, commentary. Not commentary, play-by-play. So, yeah, you guys got to get the different roles of the broadcast crew figured out. Matt is a play-by-play, and the other guys are all color. Jill saying Matt and Jack are also better than they were, but sometimes they do need reminding. Everyone's human, Lex. No. I can't. This is different. First of all, Jack Armstrong's been doing Raptors games since almost the beginning. He came to the Raptors in 98. He's been around since a long time. He's just what he is. These guys are kind of just fooling around at this point. They're having fun. Matt Devlin, he's been calling NBA games since the early 2000s. He was the voice of the Charlotte Bobcats. He was the voice of the Memphis Grizzlies for a while. And we're like his third or fourth NBA team. Now, he's stuck with us, and he's very much the voice of the Raptors at this point. But, yeah, no, let's not get it twisted. They're better than they were like maybe in the 2000s. But their arc of progress is like pretty much been done. Like Matt and Jack have been sitting in where they've been for a couple years now. In fact, that's part of the reason why they just have fun now, because they're such seasoned vets. Now, Alvin, he's young. He's green. He's only been doing the broadcast for about 5 years now. So that's the difference right there. There's a lot of longevity with Matt and Jack. And the stuff they're doing is just goofy at this point. Alvin's developing still. He's like a young player. He's still developing as a commentator. So there's a little bit of a difference where they are in their careers. Matt and Jack are more closer to the end of their careers than the beginning. Let's just put it that way. I hope they're around for a long, long time, though. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. David's saying, you already know I didn't watch basketball anymore in the 2000s. I was on the road 46 weeks a year. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say, David. I wish you knew more about Alvin from that time. And that is just the difference right there. I mean, seriously. In some ways, like, I don't know how to say this. All right, this is how I'll say it. Alvin Williams on our team back in the day was basically like Emmanuel Quickly right now. Like, as much as you love Emmanuel right now and his role and what he's doing on this team, let's say Vince Carter is Scotty and Alvin Williams was IQ. That's how important he was to our team at that point. He was hitting big shots. He wasn't as talented as IQ. He's not the same player, but his role and his importance on our team at that time was just as important as IQ. We're not talking about a guy who's a bench player who was at the end of the bench. We're not talking about a guy who's like Boucher, not talking about like a guy who's Jalen McDaniels that's calling our games. We're talking about a guy who's like the second or third option on our team when he played for our team, David. So in some ways, you got to give that some respect. He was the IQ of our team in his era, and he was very important, and he hit huge shots. He started a lot of games. He was our very, very important first point guard after Damon Stoudemire. So, yeah, I mean, that's it right there. David, I love you, man. And honestly, I get it. That's part of the reason why you don't see the full picture of why Alvin's so good, is because you just don't know the history of his playing career. In some ways, that is what you need to respect, is his playing career for why he should be on our broadcast. Jill's saying, I love that Matt and Jack ate jerk. I love it. I mean, it's funny, and I keep making jokes about it, but yeah, it's funny. Cream saying, was skeptical about Alvin, but never gave him grace in his first year broadcasting. He's a professional and will become great on the microphone as he did on the court. We will cherish Alvin in 20 years from now. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, give him time. He's way better. The first year was rocky. I'm not gonna lie. He was a little difficult, but I think he's fine now. I think he does a really good job. And even like last night when he messed up with his math, he said the Raptors are down by 8. He caught it and he said, Matt, how are you not going to correct me on my math? You heard me just say 8. He handled it really well. That's part of it too, is like he's not above like reproach and mistakes. He'll come back around and he'll correct it and get it right. You know, those kind of things are important on that broadcast. And like, you know, we can see, yeah, you called the lead wrong, Alvin. We can see that. But, you know, that's a common human mistake. Like Jill's saying, we're humans. We all make mistakes. It's exactly right. Cowboys saying Matt and Jack are jerks. I love all our commentators. Yeah, they're jerk chicken eaters. Make a wish. Jill's saying, Lex, most of my comments are not meant as criticisms of you or your streams. They're just my comments from my point of view. Okay, I'm glad you elaborated. Sometimes I'll get like a comment from Jill on my YouTube stream later in the day after I've done it, and it's like a whole list of things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like telling me everything I did wrong. And I'm kind of like, I'm going to take it as you're just kind of like your point of view and you're just trying to be helpful. All right. I'll take it better in the future, Jill. I'll take it as it's a comment of love and not totally a comment of like, you're shitty. And like David's being towards Alvin right now. Okay. Because in some ways I was like, holy crap, she's really on me for like this and this and this. In some ways you helped me up my game. Let's just put it that way. But in some ways also it's kind of like, oh, I'm already kind of having a bad day. And now Jill's telling me everything I did wrong on my stream. Cream saying, if you guys don't know Alvin's crossover step back from the free throw area, then you can't speak on his color commentary. This is a rule moving forward. I like this rule, Cream. And actually, I'm going to give you a dunk for that. Because honestly, people are like, this is true. He is really, really a good player back in the day. I'm going to give Kareem a dunk for this. Because honestly, you got to watch we don't see Alvin Williams highlights like you see Vince Carter highlights today. You just don't see them. If you guys could go back and watch a mixtape of Alvin's like clutch moments and everything he did, you guys might have a little more respect for why he's calling our games. Cowboys saying later, Lex and Rat Freaks. Have a great day. Bam. Good to see you, Cowboy. And Kareem saying alley-oop to Neon Moon. NASA has landed a rover on the light, but it's not official if I don't see pics of Cowboy there. All right. We'll give Cowboy a dunk, another dunk from Kareem. It's a symbiotic relationship. These guys are giving alley-oops to each other. Let's see. Kareem, Jill saying, see you, Cowboy. And Cowboy saying, "I'll eat right back at you, Kareem." All right, you guys are making me go crazy with these dunks. But see, I told y'all are just looking out for each other. Kareem and Cowboy. All right, let's keep going. Tristan saying defense has clearly improved last couple games. I agree. Lively killed us though. Would have been nice to have Koloko there, but what can you do? Team chemistry looks to be improving, which should limit turnovers. Good games. Yeah. Tristan, I think you're right. Koloko would be a very interesting matchup against Lively and Gafford last night. In some ways, that is a big, big blow to us this year. That on the down low. We're talking about all the trades and the moves we made, but not having Koloko develop in his second year and gone all of a sudden is a huge loss this year. Huge, huge loss. And he definitely would have helped. That's a really good point, Tristan. Really good point. Koloko. Yeah. All right. Everybody's saying hi. And most saying W stream. Lex, despite the outcomes, keep at it always. Good times. Good times. Go Raptors. Let's try and keep climbing. We got to take some losses on the journey to success and winning to get the second Larry O'Brien. And well, last night was the Luka Doncic 25th birthday extravaganza. That's what it was. Mobester's got me at 11:30. He's saying Stephen A apologized to LeBron on first take today, laughing my ass off. And this was after that reaction video Lonzo did with Stephen A that said about the Lonzo injury. Yeah, that was pretty funny when Stephen A said that Lonzo couldn't do this or that. And then Lonzo made a video of him like standing up from the chair or something. Oh, you said I can't stand up from a chair. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Stephen A. Smith's an entertainer. He's not a journalist, and he's funny. I don't totally hate him. In some ways, some of the stuff he says is really annoying. And he's not totally nice to us sometimes, but he is also sometimes really funny and entertaining. I have to say that. Fiercely saying, I'm so annoyed. I can't find footage of my daughter and I on the Jumbotron from the game versus the Grizzlies, December 29th, 2022. It was awesome. John Morant did a massive dunk, and the whole arena was shook. Man, that's tough. I know that Logical Raptors fanatic knew where the archives were for this kind of stuff. It may be really tough to dig up, but you may just need to know the right person to know how to find it. Yeah. Fiercely saying, W stream, have a great day, fam. Listen, I know we've disagreed a lot. In some ways, I'm really not in the majority on the Vince Carter stuff at this point. I'm getting it. Well, that's great that we can all have our own opinions, and we'll just have to go through life and see what happens. Whatever they decide with Vince Carter and how we're going to honor him, well, I'm a company guy. I'll get behind MLSE's decision, but I do want to kind of help try and shape it. The voices and opinions of Raptors fans do matter when we think about how we want to honor our Raptor alumni, because in some ways they want to do the will of the fans, right? So they got to test the water. They got to understand where people are when it comes to Vince Carter. They really, really do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about Phil Kessel. Exactly. I was talking about Phil Kessel. Yeah. I remembered it just now. Yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying, I was in my teens when Vince debacle happened. It broke me so much. I had to move on from watching the Raptors for years. It was hard to watch the early Bosch years, partly because of that. Yeah. It was really hard. It was a difficult time. In some ways, I'm not trying to be ageist or anything. I think that this is actually truly a phenomena. And what determines why some people, I think the younger people are very forgiving and they just love Vince. And they just don't get why some of the older Raptor fans are not for Vince or anti-Vince like I am. And I'm just trying to figure out why. Let's see. Mobester's saying, Jesus, after today with Ohtani announcing he's married, I would have handled it the same way if I went through that ordeal. I like how Japanese people handle privacy. No need for drama over this. Well, this is totally out of left field. Ohtani got married or something. Oh, listen, this is what I'm going to say happened with Ohtani. Ohtani got married. Yeah, there's a girl standing. He was standing at the altar, and the one girl came up to down the aisle and stood next to him. And the preacher said all the things. And he said to the lady, "Do you say I do?" And the lady said, "I do." And then they said to Ohtani, "Do you say I do?" And he said, "I don't." And then he brought the next girl down the aisle and said, "I do" to her. That's what I'm going to make the joke about with Ohtani. Yeah. Let me just talk about how he treated the Blue Jays and with the Dodgers this summer. Yeah, there's my joke for that there, Mo Bester. Yeah, he told the first girl who said I do. Yeah, no, I don't. And here's the next girl. She's coming down the aisle right now wearing the blue and white of the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's how I feel about Ohtani. Monique saying, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you, Monique. Kareem's saying, this is the only thing I disagree with you, Lex, about this whole Vince thing. I get exactly what you're saying, but Vince's impact on Canadian basketball holds more weight than DeRozan and Lowry put together. Oh, no. You're saying that about Lowry, man. Lowry's got that chip. You can't tell me what Vince did is more important than our chip. No. In some ways, you are saying, oh, well, we wouldn't have the chip if it wasn't for Vince. And I can see your line of logic, but no. You got to say the most important accolade in basketball is the championship. And in some ways, you can't supersede that by saying that he's more in weight than Kyle Lowry. You can't do that. I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't do that in the same respect with Siakam or Van Vliet. And in some ways, I would say DeRozan should be Leonard in the whole situation. So no, I'm going to disagree. The championship does matter more than a dunk championship and a couple of playoff appearances and some All-Stars and a Rookie of the Year. Championship does matter more. Yeah. Kareem's saying, if Vince gets his number retired, Lex, I'm buying me and you a ticket to that game. Word is bond. You know what? Listen, I will go to the game. I won't be a hater in that kind of way. Once again, I'll get with the program, whatever they decide. It's just like I said, part of the reason why I've been so anti-pizza party is because I'm a company man. And when I hear my coach say it was never a pizza party and he's trying to get his truth out there, I will echo his truth. And that's why I've been against all these pizza party people. I'm a company man. I stand by my coach. I stand by my GM. I stand by my vice president. I stand by my franchise player. I stand by my team. And if my team and the people that are running it make these decisions, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. So if they make decisions about Vince Carter and honoring him, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. And I'd love to go to that game with you, Kareem. Seriously, your words bond. I'll go to that game with you. I will. I'll be honored to go to that game with you, my guy. David's saying, right, but we're talking about the value to the Raptors franchise, not their impact on Canadian basketball. That's what I'm saying. That's why a statue, you put it near the arena because that's where the shit happened. And you make it bigger than it is because it's about the whole country. It's not just about the team, the Raptors. It's about the sport of basketball in Canada. That's why a statue is bigger than life. The statue is forever. I don't know which one of his iconic dunk poses you put on there. That's the other part of it. What Vince did is elegant. What Vince did is beautiful. What Vince did, it deserves to be encapsulated in a statue. It was an amazing physical pose that he did athletically in a dunk. It just makes the most sense. It just is the right marriage of honoring. You know, if they have a really awesome Michael Jordan dunking statue outside the arena in Chicago, they should have one for Vince in Toronto. That's just what I'm saying. Now, you give him the statue and the jersey? No, that's too much. That's what I'm saying. We'll give him something. We honor him. He's a part of our legacy. He's a part of the history of Canada. That's the way you do it. That's why I make this argument this way. Yeah. And I think David's right in what he's saying there. Kareem's saying, we're going to experience this together. I'll do it. Kareem, I will experience this with you. Everybody come to coach's open house. We'll experience that together too. Milbester's saying, Lex, what's your thoughts on Warriors-Knicks game tonight? Curry versus Brunson. Knicks go to Cleveland on Sunday and play the Cavs before returning to MSG for another 4-game homestand. All right. It depends on how many of your guys are hurt. Who's injured for y'all right now? You have so many guys that have been out lately. Jalen, Julius, iHeart. You've even had, you've got to figure out who's out, OG, who is out and who's going to show up. The Warriors team is weird because they were shitty for most of the season. Not very good at all. Really bad, honestly. But they're having a little bit of a uptick lately. Part of it is Chris Paul return. This week, he's finally back from injury. That helps stabilize this thing a little bit. When we played the Warriors, when we went out west and we beat them in Golden State, it was because they didn't have the shit together. Their youngsters and their old guys were not clicking right, and we took advantage of it. In some ways, that's what y'all need to do. The young Warriors don't exactly play right with the old Warriors. Draymond Green is weird at this point. He's a weird dude at this point. In some ways, there's like such an age gap between the old and the new with the Warriors team right now, and it's not lining up. So listen, it depends on how many of your guys are out. If you have enough guys to have the manpower to beat them. You can. But if you have too many Knicks out tonight, you're going to lose, Milbester. That's what I'm going to say right now. A lot of y'all's wins and losses are just how many guys are on your injury list. That's really what it is right now, Knicks Nation. Jill's saying, let's agree to disagree about Kyrie. I'm not saying he can't play ball and innovatively, so which is exactly why his decision to pull a Kanye makes even less sense. Agree to disagree. I don't even know what we're talking about with Kyrie in that kind of way. Listen, all right. In some ways, you're rehashing something. With the Vince stuff, that's what we're talking about. That's where we should agree to disagree. David saying, "What's happening?" Isaac saying, "I think Lex needs a statue outside the real jerk, not to slight Vince or anything." I don't know that. Listen, I don't need nothing at the real jerk. If I was coming down there and singing karaoke with them every week, and I was becoming more a legend there, maybe. But I'm not doing that. Isaac, you're funny, man. Kareem saying, my personal opinion is that Stoudemire should have his number retired, not only because he was Rookie of the Year, but he was our first draft pick and wore the number 1. Wore the number. Mighty Mouse, save the day was epic. You're talking about the 20. Yeah, see, that was Damon's number first. Damon Stoudemire was number 20. So you think he should have the number 20 retired instead of Alvin Williams. See, that's what I'm saying. There's some ambiguity there. Yeah, he got the dunk. Let's see. Jill saying Stoudemire. Mr. saying, I don't think Raptors are going to sign Bruce after that game. That might be true. Cowboys saying, I was just listening. I ain't picking sides, but Vince did so much for the game of basketball altogether, not just basketball in Toronto. He deserves it. Deserves to retire the man's jersey later. All right. Once again, we can all disagree with me. That's fine. You guys are awesome. I have no problem with this. Yeah, see, you are picking sides, Cowboy. All right, it's 12 o'clock, and it's now 12:20. All right, let's see. Mobester saying after that, it's their second West Coast trip, and the finish. All right, yeah, that's Nick stuff. Mischief saying Vince Carter stopped trying to lose multiple games on purpose. Raptors traded Vince for somebody that didn't want to play for Raptors, Alonzo Mourning. Vince Carter sabotaged the team and set us back. Boom, Mischief. I'm with Mischief. Bam, dap on him. Jill saying Luka's stocky. If he was fat, Mavs would have his hide. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. He's stocky. Okay, that's a good word. Bester saying, have you seen Teoscar Hernandez video with Otani? Yeah, you're talking baseball. I'm going to skip that. Jill saying, Leo has not color commentated with Matt since his off-color Twitter comments. We didn't see him for weeks and weeks after that, so he may have been suspended or forced on vacation. Cheers. Well, Leo is not a calling commentator for our team anymore. Alvin replaced him a couple years ago. And it's because Leo has a health condition that he doesn't want to travel. He can't go on the West Coast trips or fly on planes anymore because of his back. So it's very limited how much he flies. So he made the decision himself in some ways in working with TSN to just become pregame and just stay in Toronto. He can't get on planes and go on the road. That's the big reason why right there. If he could go on the road and fly around, because it used to be the arrangement was Leo was in studio for TSN with Sam Mitchell, Kia Nurse, and Kate Burness, like he is now. And he worked for Sportsnet also. And he was the Sportsnet color guy where Alvin is now. Now, what happened is Leo's older. In fact, he's older than Jack, y'all. That's the crazy thing. People don't realize that. His back is not as good, and he doesn't want to travel. So he doesn't want to get on planes and fly around. And that's part of the reason why Alvin replaced him. Is that Leo just doesn't travel. That's why he's not on there. It's not any comments or anything like that. If he does a game nowadays, it's because he's an emergency fill-in because of COVID or something like that. That's the only reason why they would put him on the broadcast. So it's really because he can't travel anymore. That is why he traveled this offseason, this All-Star break to go to an beach. Yeah, that's like one time on a plane, but it's not like 2 or 3 times a week. Going every which way like an NBA commentator has to when they travel with the team. That's the biggest reason why right there. Alvin's a budding star, and he needed to get the spot. But part of it was also the health of Leo. The change was made. Yeah, Milbester's saying just Randall, OG, and Mitch are out, but the rest are healthy. Well, you guys should be all right. Hartenstein's in and Brunson's in. Okay, do it. Precious starting. Yeah, do it. Just beat him, Milbester. In some ways, I'm not rooting for y'all. I'd like the Warriors to win tonight so that they can be feeling good and we can beat them after they won. If they lose tonight, they maybe weren't hungry and wanting to beat us tomorrow. So in some ways, I'm kind of like, either way. If y'all beat them, great. If you don't, it's good for the Raptors too. So either way. All right, let me do a recap real quick and get out of here. The referees for tonight's 9:05 game against Windy City Bulls, Julian McFadden, Bobby Besant III, and Maripir Malo are the 3 refs for Raptors G League action 9:05 tonight against Windy City. So check it out. Yeah, the Raptors lost the Mavericks in it could have been a closer game, but they kind of separated from us in the third. and we never really recovered. It was the Luka Doncic's 25th birthday extravaganza. So we'll give 5 stars to the other side. Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, PJ Washington, Derek Lively the second, and Daniel Gafford. Yeah, these guys were really, really good. Oh, and Tim Hardaway too. Why not throw him in there? Our 3 stars of the game last night to me were the 2 Knicks and Jakob Poeltl. Emmanuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl, and RJ Barrett, with an honorable mention for Scotty Barnes. All right. There's a couple of things that on the ESPN page right now. The new power rankings have us as number 24 in the NBA. And we're on our way up. We actually slipped a spot up above the Brooklyn Nets. They got slept below us on 25. We're 24 in the ESPN power rankings now. They also had an examining the trade deadline decisions page, and they put us in the category with the Celtics and the Knicks as, yes, they made the right calls at the trade deadline. The Raptors are the 3rd listed. And they said after a puzzling deadline last season in which an underperforming Toronto club head-scratchingly opted to hold on to free agent to be Fred VanVleet while also acquiring Jakob Poeltl, this time the Raptors got it right. And in doing so, they finally identified a direction building around 22-year-old Scotty Barnes. The 3 first-rounders they acquired for Pascal Siakam was step 1 and 2. Finding young players who can grow with Barnes, RJ and Emmanuel Quickley have fit beautifully next to the all-star wing and should for years to come. Getting a first-rounder and a game-changer such as OG and Anunoby would have been preferred, but let's not nitpick. Barrett, in particular, has been highly efficient while averaging 20 points per game since joining the Raptors. So they think we should have gotten another pick from the OG trade. Well, we got the picks from the Pascal trade. That's what happened there. Jill saying Alvin also dresses amazingly, especially after he was sent from Raptors tonight for a while. When Randy had him back, he looked like $1 million baller. Nice. I like that. All right, y'all. Yeah, and Precious has been playing well for a while too. Yeah, y'all came around. In fact, Knicks Nation's trying to say that y'all fleeced us to get Precious. I knew Precious was going to be this good for y'all. And as the day we made the deal, I knew what we were trading to y'all. Don't act like y'all fooled us. I would have loved to keep Precious on our team. I think he's an amazing player. But I'm going to say this. Remember, y'all traded RJ and Emmanuel. And Emmanuel has an amazing upside. RJ's playing really well already for us. Precious has an upside too. In some ways, the upside of Precious compared to the upside of IQ is what y'all should be looking at, Knicks fans. OG and RJ are a little bit more near their ceiling and what they are, but they could get better, both of them. But in some ways, it's IQ and Precious are the 2 players that are going to blow up in the future. And Precious already doing it. IQ is too also. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Hey, if anything, we don't totally agree on things. It is what it is. Lots of interesting things going on around the Raptors field of view and everything, whether it's the team, whether it's stuff with Vince, whether it's stuff with Dennis leaving and being on the Raptors show. Always some interesting stuff. So I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. to talk about it, whatever happens today. React to the Windy City Bulls and preview the game against the Golden State Warriors. And yeah, I'll see y'all then. I appreciate y'all. And hey, we can respect each other and like each other no matter what. Even if we don't agree on Vince Carter stuff or other things, it's fine. I appreciate y'all standing up for the fat boys from Europe today. I'm just trying to have some fun. That's all it was. I really do like Nikola Jokic a lot. No, Luka, I'm not as a big fan as his. But, and someday, who knows? Maybe I will be more of a fan of his. But good job, Mavericks. You deserved the win last night. You guys played a good team game all around. And your top stars really took control of the game. Kyrie Irving. That's right. All right, y'all. Have a great day. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you feel like it, join. Membership has its privileges. And have a great afternoon. Let's go, Raptors. Just keep your head high. And, hey, it's a good attribute to be able to agree to disagree and be okay with each other. So many people are burning bridges and saying, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you don't believe exactly what I believe. Well, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And people that are being like that in this world, stop it. You got to be able to tolerate differing opinions. It's a very good skill to have, especially in today's crazy-ass divisive world where they're trying to pull us apart. I'm not saying, well, you're this and you're that. You can't get along. That's bullshit. We can all get along. We just have to have a little bit more respect for each other. That's right, y'all. All the best to y'all. Let's go, Raptors.